are live on D Live.
Yeah, we are live. We are special guest Mark Random on YouTube.
What? In my screen, okay, could you edit that? Because on my screen it doesn't say that.
Send me the description and stuff.
Yeah. I'll send it.
Have you ever met a guy like me? Have you ever met a man with a plan like me? Have you ever seen someone turn none to someone who got the world tucked up in their hand like me? I can never change my faith, I can never hold hands, give God my grace. I can never not cry when I see your face. You say I got a lot on my plate, girl, I see that. 100 mil with the safe, no I need that. See a smile on your face, yeah I need that. No, I'm trying to get the cake that can take me to the place that'll make me feel safe, I don't need that. Tell me about the way you felt, I can tell you about the things that I said myself. I got a lot of things sitting on my shelf. Wait a couple days, you can tell I ain't hell now. You're falling face first in the ground. Don't want nothing but to see you. A faded place, a love I found. How you're so far in my dreams too. I can't change your past. Can you hear me laugh more? I can't change your path. Will you stay one last song?
So I sent him the link. This guy seems pretty on the ball, so we'll probably be here.
Have you ever met a man with a plan like me? Have you ever seen someone turn none to someone who got the world tucked up in their hand like me? I can never change my faith, I can never hold hands, give God my grace. I can never not cry when I see your face. You say I got a lot on my plate, girl, I see that. 100 mil with the safe, no I need that. See a smile on your face, yeah I need that. No, I'm trying to get the cake that can take me to the place that'll make me feel safe.
I'm here, but no one else. Oh,
tell me about the way you felt. I can tell you about the things that I said myself. I got a lot of things sitting on my shelf.
Jesse, what's up, man?
Days, you can tell I ain't hell
Hey,
now.
we are not live just yet. Just got the bottom. We probably won't have too many live viewers, as you know. Man, I'm so excited to have you on. I've seen so much of your content. We'll get into it. You all get to go.
It does seem a little quiet. Yeah.
And we're not muted, so anybody's in the noise. But we can just do a sound check in the lobby. Yes, if you want to just speak for a second. Yeah, if you could turn your gain up or something.
I've cranked it up almost all the way.
Okay, you know what, Mike? Turn yours down. I'm gonna turn the entire thing up.
I'm as low as I can get right now.
Alright, you're still kind of high. Jesse, you want to check again?
Jesse.
That's not bad, Mike. Could you go, Mike? Please stop that.
Check.
Lower. You can't go any lower.
I can't go any lower. I guess.
You guys sound the exact same to me. You sound the same level.
Jesse's not bad. Jesse's right on. Jesse's on par with me. Mike, you're all.
Check.
Okay, that's all right.
Okay.
Well, I did not the mic. Yeah.
Okay. Nice to meet you, Jesse. I'm
Hello.
Mike.
Nice to meet you, Mike.
Hi.
Hello, Jason. We've already talked, so I feel like we've already met, and we're both part of the round glasses gang.
Exactly. Yeah.
We'll get into that.
I got this. I got a sty on my eye, and I need to get surgically removed. So right now, I'm just wearing glasses for that.
see a smile on your face, yeah, I need that. No, I'm trying to get the key that can take you to the place that'll make me feel safe. I don't need
Bill
that.
Nye the Sty
Tell
guy.
me about the way you felt. I can tell you about the things that I said myself. I got a lot of beats sitting on my shelf. Wait a couple days, you can tell I need help now. Yeah.
All that stuff, Street. We were not muted.
Come to the cave of time.
I'll give you pleasure.
It's the Cave of Time podcast and live stream. We've got Jesse PS in the
Welcome to
show,
the Cave
on
of
the
Time.
show right now, the creator, the host of the legendary Pod Awful live stream and podcast. And this is actually, funnily enough, was an inspiration for me. Your show, Jesse, the live stream and podcast format. Coincidentally, you and Killstream, Ethan Ralph's Killstream, were both kind of an inspiration for us to get on the podcast and live stream dual purpose situation.
That's those. I feel like that's like being inspired by magic and wonder, and then also being inspired by like a pile of dog shit on the ground. But
Yeah, we're gonna get into that because I understand that there's some.
I'm not saying which one is which, by the way.
I understand that there's some drama, some discord going on between the two of you and you and many other people on the internet.
It's,
There's a lot of
it seems to
problems.
be there is a little bit of drama in your life right now,
little
Jesse.
bit,
Maybe we could
a little bit.
maybe we could get into that.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I wanted to start off and just congratulate you on your recent marriage.
Oh, congratulations!
Yeah,
Thank you.
your honeymoon happened shortly before your YouTube ban, which we'll also get into. As I said, I've watched. Well, I guess we were talking before the stream. I've watched hundreds of hours of your content. I was a subscriber, and you are the only show that I have ever been a paid subscriber to. Was
Oh my
the
God.
Pizza Fund, Jesse
Thank
from
you.
Pod Awful
Thank
subscription.
you. I hear that a
service.
lot. Actually, I think I do a show for the people who otherwise would not want to watch any of these terrible internet things.
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm going for. And I have seen your show before, by the
Oh,
way, too.
really?
Complete. I had no idea, complete coincidence. I saw the Nuka Zeus episode. Check that one out. And I think I watched a few of them actually. Just kind of check it. Like, what is it? What are these guys all about? They're trying to do a thing here.
Yeah, I mean that's you say, I think it's on your website, watch 3 shows and then you'll be hooked. And that's what it was like for me with your show. In the beginning I was just like, what the fuck is this guy doing? What is this guy all about? And and then I just got hooked. And now I love the show and I watch regularly. I haven't been able to watch since you've been banned off YouTube, and things seem kind of stagnant. It seems like you've been stifled. Just for the audience, though, I do want to get into, because I'm assuming we have some listeners that aren't going to know who you are.
I would imagine all of them probably.
I don't know about that. I mean, some of these corners of the internet, like you had heard of us. We've got less than 200 subscribers on YouTube. Like we're, the corner is small, and yeah, it's a good show that you put on. I kind of want to make this accessible. I don't know if we're going to be able to do that. We're going to be dropping a lot of obscure YouTubers' names and everything throughout the course of this podcast. On Libsyn, you describe your own show. I'm just going to quote that. Pod Awful is imagination terrorism that broadcasts live every Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday. Host Jesse PS and his comedy co-host. I guess you don't do co-hosts anymore.
I gotta update this. So this is apparently a very old description.
Yeah. I was thinking, because you got the co-host thing and you don't do co-host, but you bully the internet's weirdest people and darkest corners. Jesse has been arrested live on the show. He was investigated by the Secret Service. He's taken down notorious pedophiles, prank called celebrities, and went to war with the internet's craziest denizens. This is the only comedy podcast that will actually make you laugh, and you will hate yourself for doing it. So your whole thing is, let's go bully the internet. That's kind of your tagline at the start of every episode. You've got this cast of characters, ever increasing, called goons. What is a goon?
A goon, it's a lol cow. It's just another word for lol cow. Every show, every like radio show or whatever has got their, like Howard Stern invented the whack pack, I guess, and then every show ever has had a name for these weirdos ever since, but the internet just calls them lol cows. That's all it is.
Yeah, Mike's got internet troubles right now, so I think so. You're back on, Mike, but you dropped out there for a second. Can you hear us? All right. Well, we're gonna keep on going, Mike. Mike lives in the Dominican Republic. They don't have the best internet there sometimes, so we might be
Really?
dealing with that this show. Now,
Okay.
I want to give an air to your critics, though. We've got an Encyclopedia Dramatica take on your show. This is their take. What would happen if the combined power of Rucka Rucka Ali and Maddox was even less funny? You'd get Pod Awful, the worst possible way to kill 2 hours. This show is only funny if your sense of humor is overblown edgy shit with zero self-awareness.
I would take away the zero self-awareness part, but the rest of it is 100% accurate. And as a guy who was reading Encyclopedia Dramatica when I was 12, it's an honor just to be mentioned. You know?
I was thinking you'd go there, and just because this was a highlight really for me watching your shit was the story of you getting arrested and put in jail by YouTube. Do you want to just give a brief account of that? Because that was a very special moment in the history of your show.
I'll try with the brevity. So I was arrested once before. The time you already mentioned from the description there was the time I was arrested live on the air. The second time I was arrested because of the show, and the second time I was ever arrested, YouTube decided that because I did an episode about a personal hero of mine, a woman by the name of Naseem Aghdam. Well, what?
And who was that? What did she do?
Naseem Aghdam, she was a wonderful she's no longer with us. She's passed, unfortunately. God rest her soul, inshallah. But she was I believe she was Arabic. I think she spoke Arabic or something like that. And she was a vegan YouTube vlogger, and she would make these music videos and stuff. And she, perhaps most notoriously, went into YouTube's headquarters and shot a bunch of people and then killed herself with a gun. And anyway, I think she's one of those people that truly like made her dreams reality. And for me, that's a big inspiration. So I did a year after the event where she went to YouTube. By the way, she was a lady shooter, so she missed everybody. Like the only person she ended up killing was herself. Nobody died at YouTube. And so, you know, everything there's checks and balances with everything, I suppose. But I did a celebration of her life and her acts about a year. I think it was a year after the event. And then the day after that, the cops showed up to my house. And at the time I had roommates, and they saw all of this go down. They were at my door, not, banging on the door. And I thought it was a prank, all sorts of insane, terrible things happened to me. So it could have been anything. I thought they were kidding. And so they're knocking on the door, get out, come out of here. And I was like, hang on. I wasn't wearing pants. I was fucking asleep. And so I made them wait for me, and I get out, and it turns out they were arresting me on charges of terroristic threats. And I spent 28 hours in jail, which is longer than they're supposed to keep you without, arraigning you or charging you with anything specifically. And I think the reason that I didn't even have to go to court on this is because YouTube, as YouTube is wont to do, as I've learned from being terminated now by YouTube, they love deleting your videos. They can't stop themselves. So technically speaking, they called the cops on me because of a video I did and then destroyed the evidence. So they actually committed a crime in the process of trying to have me arrested. So I think the cops just went, fuck it, this is a mess, and just threw it all out. I mean, obviously I did not actually threaten YouTube in any way. I never actually did a terroristic threat. They viewed it that way.
This just goes to show the power of the patriarchy. I mean, you're celebrating a immigrant, multilingual,
independent thinking
diverse
woman.
Yes. You're celebrating this woman's life, her accomplishments, and this is what you get for it.
And it really makes no sense. To me, she's a princess. We keep a tiny version of her here in the studio. That she likes to dance and stuff. There she is, Tiny Naseem.
Tiny Naseem.
There she
Beautiful.
is.
We actually have
So-
that in our little GIF machine that we play sometime too. We've got that same dancing Nassim.
Yeah, she's great. Nassim, like, she was this incredible character. She was, unfortunately, she died before she could become a goon. You know, she easily would have been a lol cow of the internet, but the only thing that gave her that exposure was that tragic event where she
Yeah.
died.
You transcended.
And truly, I believe had she was right. YouTube was suppressing her, and had YouTube not been hiding her videos, we would have found her and we would have been celebrating her still to this day,
For real.
alive.
I mean, we've been on Audi. We just started going hard on Odyssey in the past couple weeks. We
Yeah.
gained as many subscribers as we gained in 6 months on YouTube on our
Jesus
new
Christ.
favorite platform, Odyssey. I guess I wanted to get into this later, but now that I brought it up, I heard you on Facebook say that Odyssey sucks. Why does Odyssey suck, Jesse?
So I mean, for me it does. Maybe for other people it's fine. I'm never too fond of any of the YouTube alternatives because none of them truly are alternatives, and they can't be. I get it. You know, YouTube is a giant, faceless, multi-billion-dollar international corporation, and then Odyssey is fucking Odyssey. But Odyssey, like, they only let you upload videos that are 4 gigabytes or less.
Yes. Yeah.
And my show is oftentimes, 2 hours long and in 1080p, which means the files are too big. So I can't upload. I thought, okay, I'll join Odyssey now that I'm kicked off of YouTube, and this will be great. And then I can't fucking put any of my shows on there.
Yeah.
They have a way.
I mean, you could
around
compress
that.
them, but yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to do that. They have a way around that where if you upload to the Libri app, I don't know how you say it.
LBRY,
LBRY.
yeah.
Do you just say LBRY or
I say library, but
I say library, yeah.
Okay, in my head I say library, and then out loud I go. If you upload to that app, it's supposed to let you get around that limitation, and I attempted that, and it still didn't work. So, like, somebody told me
they
the
got
video
some
said
kinks to
it's-
It was
iron
actually
out.
kind
Got
of
some
crazy
brains.
because I was trying to look at the few videos you have on Odyssey this morning, and everyone's Odyssey page worked for me except for yours. It wouldn't even fucking load, and I was like, "What the fuck's going?" Sometimes I get internet problems. Maybe it's a coincidence.
It ain't an internet problem. If you try to watch like the latest thing I put up there, it just doesn't work. And you kind of got to pay to put stuff on that. I didn't really understand. I hate all these new websites where their whole thing is like some weird way of trying to get you into a new kind of cryptocurrency. I have zero interest.
Yeah,
in
well,
any
I
of
mean,
that.
we're Odyssey respecters. You don't have to pay to put stuff on there, but there are some questions that I have as well.
Shitting all over our new home.
No,
Yeah,
well,
This is where
here's the
we
thing.
live.
Here's the thing. They're rolling out like live streaming soon, and
Yeah.
I think I might be able to get a way to get in on that. And if the live streaming part of it works, I'm going to use it either way. I just wish this first experience with the upload wasn't so terrible. But I also expect that because they're a new thing.
Yeah.
And,
It looks like they had a
started in
couple of
December,
starts, like a couple of like false starts that didn't really work out, and now they're
Yeah.
finding their feet. Hopefully,
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get into it though. Without further ado, what the fuck did you get yourself into? What is going
Man.
on, Jesse?
Yeah, like, who did you piss off?
I'm just like a pod awful fan. And I'm not deep into this lore. So a couple weeks ago, I'm looking for podcasts to listen to while I'm at work, and I'm like, I haven't seen anything from Jesse in a while. And a couple days go by, I look again, I still don't see anything. I'm like, what's going on? And then I find out that you're banned from YouTube. And then I go down this rabbit hole of all this drama, and I was aware of some of it. I'm aware of, the Mersh from Revenge of the Sis. I'm aware of some of the shit that was going on. But what is going on, Jesse? What is happening?
So a lot of people think that Mersh from Revenge of the Sis got my YouTube channel terminated, which I never said. The day my channel was terminated, which was like 3 weeks ago now or something. I didn't say anything. I didn't come out with any statement. I just kept completely quiet. And that's because I knew, number one, I knew what everybody was going to think it was. And number two, I was pretty sure I knew who actually got my channel terminated. And then the third reason, and this is the most fun one, this is why I do anything, is I just wanted to see what the people who hate me had to say. Like, I wanted to watch them all celebrate the fact that I was gone. And I knew it would be such a windfall for Mersh specifically because it must be a sigh of relief for it. Like he must feel like there's a load off his back. I've been making fun of this Mersh guy for a year and a half straight, and he has deteriorated as a man. From like I've done things that you shouldn't be able to say about a guy as like an adult guy to this dude. And he's like, he's not even retarded. Like half the people I make fun of are retarded, you know, like they're actually mentally and physically retarded. And Mersh technically is not, he's just cross-eyed. And but he might as well be at this point. He's a real laughing stock. So I imagined, you know, a lot him, his fans, and then there's this like sort of new outcropping of strange internet denizens who are coming out of the woodwork to try to make fun of me. They've been trying to do to me what I did to Mersh.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see what they had to say, especially because I love the idea of them celebrating this and being like, woo, and then I just keep going. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of giving it, I haven't really told anybody anything on this stuff. I've still been uploading stuff to my private site, but I haven't really said anything publicly about any of this stuff except for appearances on shows like this one. And the plan is I'm just going to keep going. So I don't know what I'm going to keep making fun of them. It's going to just keep happening.
Well, I mean, you exist behind a paywall essentially, and you always have, like, the majority of your content is for paid membership only, right?
Well, not the majority. People say that. Like my biggest detractors, Mersh especially, will tell you, oh, he hides behind a paywall, which is ridiculous.
Well, I don't think it's like hiding. It just seems that that's for your mainstream audience, and everything else makes its way onto YouTube eventually, right?
That doesn't make any sense at all as a burn, as a slam or anything. But that is what they say. They think it is a burn. And then the irony of this is, well, now I am only behind a paywall because I got kicked off of YouTube, which means on my site, there's no YouTube rule. There's no, I mean, even Odyssey has some rules. You can get away with most stuff here, but like I got zero rules now. It's a really strange place to put the guy that is making fun of you, where he can just do anything now, and also people are paying him to do it. It really doesn't make a lot of sense. But essentially what happened is I made fun of this guy that no one's ever heard of called Tom Gully.
Yeah.
And this guy, there's a few people who've heard of him. I'm not the first to make fun of him. He should be used to this by now. But I have this tendency, and I don't even mean to do it, where I come in and I find whatever the Achilles heel is of any of these goons, and basically one sentence in, they're done. It's too much to handle. And so I was getting bored of the Mersh stuff. I kept trying to stop covering Mersh and Nightwave and all that kind of stuff. And I stated on the show, here's the final Mersh episode. This is it. I don't care
I've
what
seen about
he does.
10 last drops on Mersh. This is the last one. I'm never talking about Mersh again.
Yeah, I know. It's impossible because every week he does something even stupider. It's really tough, but
it's really hard for me because I used to really like that show, and you've just completely ruined it for me. I cannot
bring that up.
I cannot enjoy it anymore.
Fan, yeah.
Yeah, I really, maybe like 2-3 years ago, I was really into it, and I haven't seen it in a while, but I saw this whole drama unfold, and I saw Mersh get so upset, and I was like, oh man, I really liked you. Why are you being like this?
Well, everyone who was watching it 2 or 3 years ago doesn't watch it anymore. There's not a single person watches it still. And not that it was good then, but it wasn't the steaming pile of garbage it is now. And to be honest, I probably watched your show because you guys, it was 2 guys sitting there with a thing that they're looking at beneath it.
Yeah.
And I was like, are these ROTC guys? I probably checked it out because of the visual format of it. And so it doesn't shock me that maybe you guys had watched that before. But yeah, a lot of people have told me that I completely ruined their ability to enjoy that show. Which my favorite actually is when somebody says that, but they don't still like Pod Awful. Like my show isn't what they now enjoy. It's just that they enjoy me making fun of what they used to like. I probably have a large contingent of people who watch my show where their only interest is a particular goon because it used to be something they enjoyed, and I've now ruined it for them. And that's maybe my favorite thing in all of this. But yeah, Mersh, I said I'm not going to cover him anymore. I really wasn't going to. I really had reached the point where I could go, that's enough. And a lot of people are now saying Mersh couldn't handle the idea of him not being my focus anymore. And so he tried to take down the channel. Mersh had almost nothing to do with it, to be perfectly honest. Almost nothing. I still blame him to some degree, and he's still a bitch made pussy for trying to. He attempted to do it. He did try. He just didn't get to it first. I moved on to a different guy called Tom Gully, who has a lot of the same features as Mersh. And the thing they overlap with the most is they're both fake radio guys. And I know that's rich coming from a dude wearing headphones talking into one of these microphones.
Yeah.
But I've never pretended that I've been on the real radio or anything. In fact, if anything, I lean in to the, basement aesthetic of doing a podcast. And these guys like Mersh and Tom Gully, they will tell you they're radio guys. They will straight up say, like, I used to work in radio. And that shit just ain't true. It's just not, like, I don't care. You might have been in a radio station one time. You did not work in radio. You've never been a personality on air.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of looks like they used to do announcements for like a strip club or something, right? Like,
well, Mersh literally worked at strip clubs.
Did he really actually do that? Well,
yeah. He was like a DJ or something.
Yeah. So he's probably like, next up is Candy, like on the microphone, right? And he's got all the equipment. So that's his experience with it.
I'm sure when he started playing Cherry Pie, he could hit the post just like the pros and, get out of there right in time. And maybe he even did the weather while DJing. I don't know. But he definitely is not a radio guy. Moreover, he just called into Opie and Anthony a couple times and they took his call. So that makes him a radio guy. He's somehow connected to that show because he called into it twice. So
a lot of these guys are like stand-up too, right? They're all into this stand-up scene.
Well, Mersh does stand-up. Yeah, this Tom Gully guy doesn't. Tom Gully is a fake radio guy. I did one episode on this dude. We had been making fun of him behind the scenes for about 2 weeks, sort of building up this episode. And then one episode, and the ego on this man was so horrifically shattered that he went for my channel. And Tom Gully is the guy who I don't think he directly did it. I don't think he clicked the button, but somebody reached out to him. I have this one goon who, and I'm going to leave this person nameless for now, but I've got this one goon who has been trying since I made fun of them the first time, which is over a year ago now, that they've been attempting to make this happen. And what they do is every time I make fun of a new person, they go to that goon and they say, oh, he made fun of you too? Join me. And they've been literally building this legion of goon around my show and attempting to make this. It finally happened. Somehow the team up of Tom Gully and this person, I think they're the one who actually did the dirty work. But Tom Gully has encouraged it, has kept their name a secret. He won't say it was them, but I know it was them. He's tried to blame it on other people. He's tried to blame it on me. And then he's also, and this is the worst idea for him, he's been celebrating it. And this is why I haven't done anything for a while, because I want to watch these people celebrate this shit, because the possibility is still very much there that I get my YouTube channel back. It was taken down for false reasons. It was false reported. And if YouTube were doing their jobs correctly, I'd have it back by now. Unfortunately, I'm getting stonewalled on it. Their email system for their appeals seems to be a broken loop right now. Every time I send in the appeal the correct way, I'm sent back an email saying, I see you've appealed. Thank you for your appeal. By the way, if you want to appeal, here's how you do it. And then they send me a link to the same thing I just did. And it's just that over and over and over again.
Yeah. I don't know. As you know, like YouTube's getting more and more strict with this shit. And to be honest, I was surprised. I've been long surprised that you have remained on YouTube. There was, and you might remember this better than I do because it probably had more import in your life, but there was one episode where I could not believe what you were saying. You said, something to this effect. I am encouraging the viewers to take terroristic actions. This is not a joke. I am not joking. This is not a joke. I want you to commit terrorist acts. Do you remember that?
I know what episode.
Oh shit! I thought you remember. No,
that might be the Nassim episode. Maybe
I feel like a lot of the stuff I watch, I feel that about you. I'm just like, how the fuck is this guy still on YouTube? We get in trouble for the tiniest little fucking thing, and you just keep going and going and going, full episodes.
I had my YouTube account for 10 years, and I didn't use it for that until I barely uploaded to it until about maybe 6 years ago. I started taking it seriously, and you're right. I've always known there's no chance. When I got kicked off of Facebook the first time, it was over the tiniest little thing. And so I've always known there's no way the show is called the tagline is "Let's bully the internet."
They don't want you there.
That tagline right there is against their TOS, and I say it in every episode. Yeah. The terroristic threats thing, it's I have this running gag on the show where I say real threats. And the reason I do that is because technically speaking, in order for something to be a threat, it has to be a credible threat. So if you say something that is impossible, it's not a threat. And if you say something as a known satirist or humorist or comedian or whatever, then it also can't actually be taken literally. If on my comedy show, I, as a comedy person, say this is a real threat, go and blow up Congress, go storm the and this is how the Capitol storming happened. Somebody took me seriously. I said, go storm the Capitol building. You guys, if you have Viking helmets, put them on. And they listened. And this is why I'm still a free man and many of your grandpas are in jail right now, is because technically speaking, if I say it on my show, it's not an actual threat. So that has to be an actual thing I said. I believe that I did say that, but I'm sure the context of it was, this is ridiculous. Obviously what I'm saying is not real here. And when I was investigated by the Secret Service, that's why I'm not in jail for that, because for about a year, every episode of my show, I would detail a plan on how to kill Obama and his family in the White House. And you can't do that normally unless, of course, you're joking. I don't make up these rules. This is the world we live in. And so technically I'm allowed to get away with it, but they will knock on your door and say, please stop doing this. And then you listen,
Yeah, we got Floyd79 in chat saying, shout out Saiyan Z. So Saiyan Z is someone on a long list of characters that are attacking you, are sullying your honor online.
How can you tell?
Sorry?
How can you tell?
I can tell because just researching this episode, this is what pops up.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's a fun part of losing your YouTube channel is the only stuff that comes up about you now is not your stuff, but the people trying to make a name for themselves.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people. So I wanted to go through, run down the gamut of people who are attacking you, and maybe if you want to just give one sentence for all these people, because that was one of the things Jesse's coming on the show. Last night we confirmed, and I was like, okay, I gotta get a grip on what's going on in this situation, and it is just this massive knot of what's that? I think they're in king rats. Those rats that
rat kings.
Yeah, it's like a king rat of drama.
You're like the fucking Kevin Bacon of internet drama right now, and everyone's just 2 steps away from you.
Yeah,
that's very true.
Okay, so we've got People's Populist Press, PPP. They're somewhere involved in this. What's going on with them?
PPP likes me. He had his whole thing is that everybody's a fat. Oh, am I allowed to say certain words?
I mean, whatever. We're gonna get banned off YouTube eventually.
Yeah, our YouTube days are done.
Everybody's a cook, and everybody's a fat, and everybody's that's his whole thing.
That's not a bad impression.
Yeah, I've talked to him. He's been in my Discord. He was his whole thing about not liking me is that people came out in his honor because I put an episode where he was the guest star behind the paywall.
Yeah,
and they were mad. They were mad that they didn't have the money to watch it, and so they complained to him. And so now he's got to act like he doesn't like me. But PPP and it's nothing.
Okay.
It's
Okay. Now we got Red Bar Radio.
Red Bar, that's also nothing. I don't make fun of Red Bar anymore. I was making fun of him for a little while. I feel too bad for him. He poops in a bag now, and it's not looking good. He's got an illness. I've known Red Bar for many, many years now. Is nothing. Literally nothing.
Poops in a bag. I don't know. I feel like this.
He does.
Like
He's got a disease. He's got a disease. He talks about it on the show. It's called like Crumb's disease or something. He craps in a bag, and his wife Jules, bless her heart, takes care of him. She's like got to change him and stuff. You can laugh at this. You don't have to hold it back. I see you holding it.
Sometimes I don't know what's true and what's not with you.
No,
I actually
only
true. Knew. Funny enough, because I now recognize that Red Bar is somewhat of a big deal. Like a lot of people look up to this Mike David guy, but I didn't know. I actually learned about him through you, which I guess is a backwards
I had
way of doing
no
it.
idea he was until I researched this.
Yeah.
Well, he takes a lot of inspiration from my show. Bless his heart. I wish him the best.
Well, I watched a little bit, and I know that he says the same thing about you. I know that there's drama going on there, but
yes, the inspiration I have taken from his show, according to him, is this. He invented clapping. And the inspiration he has taken from my show are just outright jokes, entire bits. But again, I can't make fun of. I feel too bad for him. He has a serious illness, and he's not well. And he's a funny guy, like his show.
Get well soon, Mike David. All right, moving on.
Soon.
Ethan Ralph.
Ethan, I went like both of my interactions with Ethan Ralph, and there's only really two. I guess there's three. I did go to his house one time. I completely forgot about that part. I had two interactions with Ethan by calling into the kill stream. Both of them, I've never watched the kill stream before that. And I was only calling in because Revenge of the Sis was on, Mersh was on the show. And so I called in to make fun of him. And then I called in one time, quite infamously now, to try to make fun of Dick Masterson, and they turned down my audio and shouted over me and kicked me out and pretended like I left. It was a disaster for Dick Masterson, not for me.
It was a disastrous show, period.
I mean, sure. I don't know if that's maybe how it always is. It's kind of seemed like it probably is. But it did lead to Dick Masterson becoming a lol cow, so I could not be happier about that. The entire internet makes fun of Dick Masterson. He's a pedo now in most people's minds. So what do I have? No, that's fine by me.
I don't keep up with Dick Masterson so much, but as I said before, like I've been a Killstream viewer. When I saw Pod Awful and Killstream on the same like a anime crossover, I was like, this is very exciting stuff. I'm very happy to see this, and I listened, and it was horrible. It was one of the worst things I'd ever heard from them. I lost respect for literally everybody on that panel.
Including me.
No, not you. Well, yeah, no. I mean, because it was like the panel was against you. It was this intruder and an autoimmune reaction to the intruder. It's like these guys, like they had this weird thing for Dick Masterson, right? Like they
no joke had to get 6 guys together just to fight. It was me against 6 dudes who literally turned my volume. I have it recorded on my side. You can tell when they turned me down.
And then you say one thing, and they're like, "Whoa, I can't get a word in edgewise." It's like,
yeah, it was like. I mean, if I believed in gaslighting, like if I was a woman, I would think they were trying to gaslight me on that. But yeah, it was a completely ridiculous thing. And I guess they thought I was calling in to talk to Mr. Medicare, who like, I don't know anything about Mr. Med. I've never watched his stuff. My wife enjoys his things. That's about all I know. Yeah. And so I guess he's a big deal, and they thought like, oh, it's a big deal that I'm getting to talk to Mr. Medicare.
Yeah, I mean, he is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, sure, fine. But I just completely ignored him to make fun of Dick Masterson. And I think that kind of rubbed them the wrong way too. I wasn't treating their guest with respect.
Yeah.
But they were all on Dick's new project too, his Patreon alternative. So they were all looking out for their wallets. That's all that was.
I mean, I feel like it's deeper than that. I feel like they look up to him like a big brother or like a father. Like it's like, and when you're not respecting that, it's like you making fun of their dad,
Yeah, there's a father figure aspect to it. And then I randomly went across country to Ethan Ralph's house one time as like a very
So why did you do that? Like, I mean, I'm familiar with the situation. I know what happened. Well, why don't you explain what happened and why you did it?
Well, Ethan like got really mad about my appearance on Killstream, and he tried to make a thing out of like, oh, look at this, look at this. He showed a picture of me from when I was like 20 years old on stream and tried to make fun of me for it. Which Ethan Ralph making fun of anyone's looks is the most laughable concept of all. And so I don't know. I just got it in my head like, wouldn't it be funny to go to the furthest side of the country from me and just go, his address was publicly, but everybody knew where he lived. And what if I just went there, but I didn't tell anybody I was going there. I didn't say that's where I was. And I just left it as a guessing game. Where in the world is Jesse from Pod Awful? And so I went there, I live streamed it. I didn't show his house or anything. It was just me in the car outside his house. And I set up this whole live stream. I had it so you could send in super chats and guess where I was. And a guy got it in 2 fucking minutes. 2 minutes. Which to me made it funnier. Like I wasted all that time and money to go there. I actually enjoyed that about it. Like this guy nailed it. One guess, boom, he got it. And then I took a sticker, a Pod Awful sticker, and put it in his newspaper box and left. Didn't go up to the door, didn't knock on it, nothing. Ethan lost his mind about this. It might be the most harmless prank that's ever happened. I mean, literally the next week, Frank Hassel showed up at Boogie's house and a gun went off. You would think same thing.
So true. I never thought about that.
It was literally 1 week later that happened.
God, yeah.
And you would think the same thing happened to Ethan Ralph the way he retells the story. He went on his own show and doxed himself again and said, I wish you would come to my house, okay? You would come to the door. And I'm like, I did that already. Said he'd, like I was already there.
But I thought you were going to go here. So they covered the Frank Hassel going to Boogie's house. Boogie's like another famous YouTuber. Frank Hassel is like this up and coming prankster. They covered that, and they covered it like positively.
Of course. Yeah. Of course they did. And they probably had Frank on the show, right?
Yeah, I believe they did, yeah.
Okay, so they have Frank on, and again, 1 week after I did essentially the same gag.
It's so funny.
And for all the people who are like, oh, like with the red bar thing, who did what first? Well, I did that one first. I just keep asking yourself. I don't know.
I mean, I think the Killstream puts out a lot of good content. I mean, as you say, stuff like him making fun of your looks. I mean, the guy has cellulite on his stomach. He's got cellulite on his stomach, and he's making fun of how you look. Like that kind of goes like that.
He is 90% gunt. It's never been tried before in the history of science. Like technically speaking, a gunt is the gut over the cunt, right? It's the fupa. And somehow, and again, he broke the mold on this. Science has never been the same since. Somehow he managed to make the entirety of his body, except for his bones, gunt material. It's very strange.
Oh man, I mean, I don't want to shoot him too much because, like I said, I enjoy the content and I do think he puts out a good show. But
a guy like that should be able to take a joke about himself. But
exactly,
that's there's this kind of thing that I felt while I was looking up all this stuff where it's like, aren't these guys all comedy show guys? Aren't they all comedians? And you seem to be kind of like the only guy who doesn't really take anything seriously, and it kind of rolls off your back when they all go after you. But they really seem to get wound up and like personally hurt about when you make fun of them.
I made fun of Mersh by doing the first time I made fun of him by doing a parody of him. And
That's
I
fucking
thought
hilarious,
for
by the way.
sure we were like internet friends or whatever. And I thought for sure that he would be able to take the joke. I had no clue he was going to react the way he did. And he reacted so over the top that it became 1.5 years long of making fun of him. If he had just gone, he got me, and then he crossed his eyes into infinity and teleported into the ether, then I'm pretty sure I never would have made fun of him again. It's that simple. Like, if you watch, there are a couple episodes, it's not very many. There are a couple episodes of Pod Awful where I found a new goon or whoever, I decided to make fun of somebody, and their reaction to it is, you got me. It ruins the episode, and I never make fun of them again.
Well, that's so. Like when you were coming on, I'm like, we just had Egg White on. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
He's been on my show. Yeah,
oh,
I'm a good
he?
friend. Oh yeah, I'm good
friends.
friends.
I know that. Yeah, he's a cool guy, but like I was very comfortable having him on. He's very personable. and we were having you on now, and I'm like, I'm not so comfortable with this. He's a bit of a loose cannon. He said he's seen the show before. I don't know what he's gonna think of us. He might be doing like a paywall like restream of this where we are goons, and he's gonna make fun of us. And like what Mike said and what I agreed with is just like whatever. If he does that, like it's just like that's funny. That's all right. But the way that these people respond, Ethan, Ralph, Mersh, it honestly truly is pathetic. You do a good job of really lowering
Maybe it's
the world's
like
opinions.
maybe it's like easier for us because we have like regular day jobs. We don't make any money on YouTube,
Yeah.
and it's like not tied up in our ego or like who we are.
Yeah, but you're describing a lot of the guys who either still react the exact same way or are even worse when they react to this stuff. Like there's this one guy. I'm not one of these people who won't say a guy's name just because, there's a back and forth. I almost fear revealing who I'm talking about here just for his own mental health. There's this one guy who, after I made fun of him for the first time, he completely has lost his mind. And it's to a degree where I rarely worry about these guys. I get a lot of people saying like, he's going to kill himself if you keep making fun of him. Are you going to be happy then? And I go, no, they're fine. Come on, please. This dude, he's on the verge and he's got a real job. He's got a real life. He could walk away from it at any time. And yet he's going off the deep end. So even I have a certain limit where I'm like, no, that's too psycho.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think you said on a recent episode of your show that the "Let's Go Bully the Internet" is a joke, and you can't bully adults.
Yeah.
That tagline is from like it's 11-year long show, Pod Awful, and that tagline has only been a thing for a few years now, but it stemmed from an episode we did where I don't even remember the name of the episode or anything at this point because I've done so much shit. But I remember we were talking about this idea of like adults being bullied. And it's like, it's retarded. Bullying used to mean getting shoved into a locker and beat up as a child. And now bullying means someone said something silly about you on the internet. It used to be like with South Park. They would go, South Park, that's a bad show. It should be canceled. They're doing terrible things on there. They make fun of, races and Jewish people and every single religion and whatever thing of the week. And then the response to that always used to, from normal, smart, and funny people would always be, well, change the channel. And with the internet, it's like, fucking block them or mute them, or you choose to hear this stuff about you or not. And if you can't handle it, you should choose not to, but you're not being bullied. You're an adult. You're supposed to have the tools capable to handle these things. And I hate saying the sticks and stones thing, but we all forgot it. And so I feel like there must be a cross-section of adults who have never heard sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. You're supposed to learn that as a child to steel you against the actual realities, the horrors of adulthood. You're supposed to be prepared for those things. And instead, everyone has been so infantilized and coddled that they can't get it past their head. Like they can't get it into their head that, no, it's just a word. Who cares? I was kidding. It was a joke. It was just a joke. You're supposed to be fine with this.
Big agree. Moving on with the list, you already covered Mr. Medicare a little bit. So Dick Masterson, he's kind of like a big dog in this fight. What, like, if you could just briefly sum up what's going on with this guy?
That's tough. As quickly as possible, he used to have a show, a podcast with a guy called Maddox. They had a big split, and it was a big mystery what happened. And during that split, I didn't know what was happening either, although I had talked to Dick Masterson before. He and I were Facebook friends. I didn't hear his side of it. I just heard Maddox say that he was starting a podcast network and he's looking for shows to be on it. And I submitted my show. I thought, well, why not? Maybe he'll have it. And strangely enough, he did. He was like, your show's great. Yeah, you can be on the network. And then I ended up being the only show on his network for a long time. And then this whole falling out happened between him and Dick Masterson. And it put me on the side of Maddox in all these people's minds. And so, okay, if I'm on Maddox's side here, then I'm going to troll the Dick Masterson people. And ever since everybody wanted to know what was going on between them. And so I fooled Maddox basically. I talked him into doing an Ask Me Anything on my show about the events that happened that led to their breakup. But we trolled the audience by saying, like, by stalling it. We kept acting like he was having connection issues and stuff. And then by the end of the show, we went an hour stalling any of the questions. And then at the very end, I go, okay, we got time for one question. Here's a big one from the chat. What is it? Okay, so-and-so says, what's your favorite pizza topping? He answers that question, and then we end the stream. I'm not kidding. That event led to every single terrible thing that has happened between me and Dick Masterson. That's all it took. It's always the stupidest, tiniest thing like that. And it's all it took. And that snowballed into Dick Masterson asking his audience to deplatform me from Patreon. And then, of course, he did that. So then I hit him back by getting his international Pizza Hut commercial taken off the air. And he can know what he's now persona non grata in Hollywood. He can never work another acting gig again because of me. And it's just been a back and forth for it's 5-6 years now. I think this has been going on. And finally, it all kind of culminated last year when I had that appearance on the Kill stream. And then PPP joined in to all of this. And now Dick Masterson is a lol cow. And by the way, when we say lol cow, a literal one, it was exposed by his ex-girlfriend that Dick Masterson pretends to be a cow sexually in bed, like an actual, he's a furry.
Is that true?
I swear to fucking God, it's true. His girlfriend, Jamie Lynn, we had her on the show. She's got texts and stuff to back this up. He's sucked cock at Burning Man. He's there's something a little strange between him and his teacher girlfriend, his teacher of children girlfriend, when it comes to underage people. But absolutely 100%, without a doubt, he pretends to be, he's a furry in bed. He wants you to suck his udders, and he calls himself Juju the Cow. You bring up Juju the Cow in front of Dick Masterson, prepare to get banned.
This is exciting new information that the Cave of Time podcast and live stream can neither confirm nor deny. We will move on to more.
Well, I feel like you are doing an excellent job of painting a picture why everyone's so angry with you. I think we're starting to see the picture now. Untie some of these knots.
Listen, I'll tell you this. I did 3 random shows on Dick Masterson last year where I was just making shit up. I said he was trans. I said he was all sorts of stuff. And then it turned out all of those things were true. I didn't know. Like, I mean, he is trans because a cow is a girl. He's pretending to be a girl in bed. And I didn't know it, but on the thumbnail for that episode, I had a photo of him where he was dressed up like My Little Pony for a bit. And I put that on there just thinking like, oh, it looks girly and silly. This makes him look stupid. But I'm not kidding. He really is a trans furry cow.
Moving on.
You can't just say moving. I know that every single thing I say makes it so it's impossible to transition to a new topic. I know that, but you're going to have to find some way to segue this. Because moving on.
How about this? Moving on.
Fuck yeah! Shout out. Yeah.
So, what's the state of the union with the ROTC crew?
Meaning what? I mean, you mean like all of their
well, no. I mean, so guys? Like Royce, Mersh. What's going? Have you talked to Mersh or Roy? I know you did. Like, yeah, go on.
I had an hour and 14-minute phone call with Royce after my channel was terminated because so many people were blaming Mersh, and because Mersh, the day I was terminated, and he knew my channel was terminated, he went on to Nightwave and told people that if I don't stop going after him, he's going to take away my livelihood and take away my everything.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's like, bitch, that happened already. What the fuck are you talking about? What do you have to take away now? I got nothing. So he was still acting from this position of like I was hurting him in some way. And I'm not talking about making fun of. He was claiming that I had his stream elements and stream labs taken down. You know, the thing he got super chats through taken down which is not only is that, if you know anything about my show, not only is that a ridiculous claim, I would never do that to anybody because I want them to make money and I want them to keep making content. But also, there is no report button on Streamlabs or Stream Elements. It's impossible to report those things. They don't, it's not YouTube. They don't have report buttons, but he was claiming this either way. He was telling people I did this to him. And so I felt like that wasn't just kicking me while I'm down. That was straight up trying to punch me in the head and tell me, if you get up again, you'll die. And with that said, even though he didn't take down the channel, I had to tell Royce, because Royce is, neither of them are smart. And Royce is particularly stupid. But he is at least more even keeled. He's more level headed than Mersh. And when I made fun of Royce in the past, Royce did what you're supposed to do. He's not a lolcow. I maybe embarrassed this guy harder than anybody I've ever embarrassed on the internet. And he fucking took his lumps and he went with it. He said, it's everybody takes their tumble in the dryer. And that was it. I never made fun of Royce again. Despite the fact that I make fun of his co-host almost every single day of my life, never made fun of the guy again because he reacted the right way. And so I called up Royce and I said, listen, you and I, we need to talk. I'm telling you, we need to talk because I'm only going to take so many hits from so many people before I start hitting back. And it's going to affect you. So I had this phone call with him and I told him, listen, you're the organ grinder. You're the guy with the accordion, and Mersh is your monkey tipping his fez, trying to collect the nickels. Rein in the monkey. We all think the monkey is very funny and very cute, but he's been biting people lately. So pull the leash a little. And to Royce's credit, and even to Mersh's credit, Royce must have had the conversation with him because Mersh has not mentioned that shit since. So it worked. I basically told him, and this is all in the pizza fund, but I basically told him, like, if he doesn't shut up about me, I'm going to go after you the way you guys are saying I went after you. Like, I'm just going to do it. All right. There's no more Revenge of the Sis if this happens. There's no more making money for you guys if this happens. I don't want to do that. That's why I gave him the warning, but he's got to stop kicking me while I'm fucking down. It just doesn't make any sense. He's winning, right? Like right now, according to the internet, Mersh is winning. Enjoy it, lavish in it, but don't keep fucking hitting me. It doesn't make any sense. I got no YouTube. What are you going to take from me? And a guy with nothing left to lose is a dangerous thing. Yeah. So,
I mean, speaking of stupid, when you highlighted the interview that they did, or the, I guess, debate they did with Matt Christensen.
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude. Like, not only stupid, like dumb.
And I remember I was looking forward to that. I was like, oh, this is going to be sweet. And oh my God, it was a fucking train wreck.
It was disgusting. Like I said, like wrong, dumb, not funny. And they just stood by it like stalwart. And
that happened right after I did the parody of them too. So it was all this like confluence of events where that was maybe their most embarrassing moment on air to date at that point. Yeah. And I just made fun of them and they had just overreacted to it. And so that was a big part of me continuing to make fun of them too. But that debate, even their own fans were like, you guys blew this. You posted an L. You should probably give up. And they can't stop themselves. Yeah. Like I'm willing to say, oh, I got terminated. I lost. Yeah. You know, that's an L for me. I'm willing to say they can't do it. They cannot allow themselves to look like the losers in any situation.
Fascinating stuff. So now we got a couple. What was that on your screen? Was that Shaq?
What are you talking about?
There was just some random guy on your screen.
Black guy on your screen.
I see me. I don't know what you guys.
All right. Okay. So there's a slew of Z-list YouTubers. We've got Hipstar. We've got Say and Z, who Floyd79 wanted you to talk about. We've got Andy's random edits. What's going on with these hordes that are approaching?
Well, most of these guys are like Mersh effect guys. I call them Mersh effect because Mersh has this pyramid scheme of loyalty to himself where he promotes you if you're nice to him. And then the second you're not, he cuts you loose. And the gay mill hip guy, he's one of these guys. Andy's random edits is maybe the biggest Mersh butt sniffer of all time. Listen, both of these guys, and I'm not just saying, I swear to God, I'm not just saying this. They're dangerously broken individuals. I've decided to I'm just gonna let it slide.
Okay.
I'll tell you this: Andy's Random Edits has spent about a year now making multiple alt accounts, talking to himself, like doing really psycho shit behind the scenes, stuff I get accused of, but is clearly not true. You know, people think I'm everybody on the internet and I'm doing all these gay ops or whatever. This guy, Andy's Random Edits, he has a what's that? He has like a fatal attraction level love for Mersh, where it's not going to end well for either of them. There's going to be blood, and I worry about both of those people. I don't know. I made fun of both of them. They were both of these stars of Mersh Effect episodes of my show. And ever since those episodes, they have mentally unwound. I call it unspooling. And it's just, those are people that was enough. Let's just leave it at that.
We've got a lot of drama. We've got a lot of people that hate you. We went through a list of just some of them just now. There is a saying that goes something like, if you get kicked out of 6 million bars, maybe you're the one doing something wrong.
You didn't use the word 6 million for a reason just then, did you?
No, we would never do that.
Completely random. Okay. Yeah, maybe
does that number have some sort of significance to you?
No, of course not. Listen, if you're the let's say you're a guy who travels all over the world, and you're trying to mark off every country on your list. You're up to 111 countries or something, 112. And what's the problem? And every time you go to a country, they're like, yeah, we're good. And then one time you go into a country and they're like, they start a fucking war about it. Mm-hmm. That doesn't look. You're the common denominator. That doesn't look good on you.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, I get it.
What? How do you respond to an accusation like that?
I would say you're 100% right. Yeah.
You are the common denominator.
I mean, yeah, I'm fucking with these people. I'm asking for it, right? Like I'm a lady in the mini skirt and an alley in Harlem.
Homeland that you could, stick to. Like,
well, I've been looking for. I just want something that is real, somewhere I can go where I can just like by birthright be myself the way I am, the annoying way that I am.
Yeah, and, look, man, I've always thought that you were smarter than like 95% of people. I've always really liked you. I attribute your success to your high intelligence and ingenuity and all the hard things you've been through.
I hate to tell you this, but I'm the one who invented the tests on intelligence, so it might be a little skewed toward me. It's honestly not fair. And I think that's the problem a lot of people have with me is like it seems unfair that I get to get away with, like you mentioned before, how did I stay on YouTube all that time? Like, why does he never seem to see real repercussions for anything? How does he get away with this sort of stuff? Why is it that he seems to have a tentacle in every facet of media, despite the fact that he's a complete nobody? And there is honestly no parallel to draw here to anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, now that you're witnessing your own YouTube holocaust, how are you going to get back? So I did read on your Facebook cult page that you're encouraging people to fax YouTube, like all the way to faxing YouTube, your email campaigns. Do you have high hopes?
So I waited a week to do anything on the YouTube front other than just submit a normal appeal. And when I saw that I'm getting stonewalled on that all the responses were boilerplate nonsense back from YouTube, I thought, okay, let's go to plan B. And plan B exists because the exact same YouTube channel has been terminated twice before in the past. And both times I survived it. I got the channel back the first time. And the second time they just didn't end up they terminated me, but then they didn't terminate me. It was very strange. The first time I was terminated, it was over a bullshit strike on some guideline stuff that made no sense. They said I was harassing and bullying somebody. And what I was doing was I exposed a local pedophile who was driving an ice cream truck in my neighborhood. I went up to him and exposed it. He was using Grinder to try to hook up with children while driving an ice cream truck.
Children are
I
on
wonder they
Grindr?
banned you.
And they banned me for that because YouTube loves pedophiles. They protect them. They are pedophiles. The people who run YouTube are pedos.
Allegedly.
And no, for sure. And then and they should be maimed and hurt for it. They should be killed.
Well,
legally.
metaphorically speaking.
Legally,
I mean,
no. Legally, they should be killed
Yes,
for
yeah.
it. So, because by the state, they should be put to the death penalty. So, unfortunately, they're in California, so it likely won't happen. But if you could get them alone in an alley. So what I'm saying is YouTube loves pedos. Wait, what was I going? Where was? Oh, right. I was terminated. So they took down the 3 videos where I went after pedos, which seems a little suspect. And they terminated my channel, and we faxed them. They have a legal department, and legal lawyers have to still use fax machines. They need actual copies of things, coming out of a machine. I think they also just have a sexual fetish for the sound. So we faxed them this image I made where it was almost all black and it just said "Bring back Pod Awful" in the middle. And we just wasted their toner until they.
Oh my God, that's the oldest fucking attack ever.
So
Black
that
facts
actually worked
100%.
for you previously because because I was listening to some haters and they were making fun of that.
No, I saw them make fun of that, and of course, this is. I wish the haters were as good as I am at this stuff because it wouldn't be so frustrating to listen to their things about me. It's not frustrating because I'm embarrassed. It's not frustrating because they've got a great point about me. It's frustrating because they have to make shit up or leave. They have to lie by omission to try to make anything happen. They think that's what I do to people. Like they think that's what I did to Mersh. Most of the people making fun of me right now are people who are mad that I was making fun of Mersh, either because they like Mersh or because they thought they were the guy who was going to make fun of Mersh. So they thought they could do the same to me. And what they had to do, the reason you thought it was stupid that I sent faxes to them this time is because they left out the part where I said, we did this last time and it worked. And it did. We black faxed them until they ran out of toner and they gave me my channel back. That was actually a terroristic sort of thing to do. They could have had me arrested for that one, but they just acquiesced to the terrorist demands and it worked. And I
think you can actually get in a lot of trouble for that with the law. Like, I think that's very illegal to do that.
To just send someone faxes on their open fax number?
Yeah, because it used to be like a way that people would attack like a business or something and just, put them out of business for the day.
I guess they've got really shitty lawyers then because instead of having me, in trouble for that, they're
probably too young to know this kind of stuff. But like when you used to run businesses on fax, instead of like doing a DDoS attack on someone's website to take it down, that's how you take their business down. In the 1970s and the 1980s.
I mean, DDoSing is definitely illegal. We didn't do that to them. I don't think you probably could to YouTube, but it was a legitimate message. It wasn't just black. We did want to waste their toner because we wanted to exasperate them. We must have sent, and this is when I had like 4,000 subscribers. So it was barely anybody doing it. And we must have sent 1,000 faxes to them.
Faxes will do it, man.
And they gave me the channel. It fucking worked. We emailed. We did every single thing you've seen me say on this one. We did all those things last time, and it worked. And I believe that doing that last time is the direct result from that is what I'm experiencing now, where they have put up all these firewalls to prevent these things. The faxes aren't going anywhere. Now the emails don't go.
Well, they're probably going to eFax, so it's just like a computer. They're just piling up on a computer somewhere.
Exactly.
They probably don't have a machine anymore.
Exactly, but they definitely did then. And I'm a little surprised to learn that because again, usually legal departments have actual fax machines. I do wonder if we had a direct result on them going to fully electronic. But it worked. It fucking worked. And then I got terminated again over a false copyright strike. And coronavirus hit the same day and they just forgot to terminate my channel. And so I have been existing in limbo this entire time. I've been terminated for over a year now. A year ago, I got terminated. So I kind of look at this as like them just remembering. They're like, oh shit, yeah, we meant to do that before. And maybe they're just finding an excuse to do it now. The thing I got reported for this time is something called circumvention of technology. And that would mean that I was uploading videos telling you how to like download Photoshop for free, or how to, how to get a crack or a serial number or anything like that for software. Now, obviously, I didn't do that. So whoever reported it committed a crime, because you have to state under penalty of perjury that what you're saying is true. And you have to be reporting that your own software is being stolen through these YouTube videos. So the person behind this, like, if YouTube would actually do their jobs and listen to me and actually investigate this, which they should have done before taking down my channel, then the person on the other end of this would be in serious trouble. Like that. I mean, they committed multiple crimes by doing this. And everybody assumes that I got taken down for a legitimate reason, and I fucking didn't, which is why there's a part of me that thinks I could still get the channel back, which will be the funniest event of all time. But again, a year ago I was terminated. So no part of me like expects it to come back, and no part of me is really that upset about it. Like I've been wondering how I hung on.
So YouTube is bullshit. Like, we have no shortage of our own problems with YouTube. The shit that we've been through is bonkers. It's bananas. You're documenting some of the shit that you went through. We all acknowledge that it's bullshit. It would be nice if something else would become more viable. You carry with you a substantial following. Like, I don't think that you realize the power that you have. Like, you staying on and like using as your primary thing platforms like Facebook, like YouTube. I mean, it's kind of shitty. Like, I think that you should hop somewhere else and at least make somewhere else your primary. Use YouTube. Like, you want the exposure, you want to reach new people, use it. But like, when you're making these things your primary endeavor, it kind of is anti progress.
I hear you. And my argument against that would be two things. Number one, I only want to be a part of the clubs that don't want to have me as a member. And my entire existence online is to subvert the things that I hate. And you can't do that without being on those things. I don't think I'm going to get YouTube back. And by the way, if I make a new channel right now, it will be immediately deleted again. But I'm going to keep doing it anyway, because fuck them. That said, the number two thing is you can't. There is no alternative. Like I said at the beginning of this, there is no alternative to YouTube, and you
currently
can know that. You can know that because
at one point there was no alternative to MySpace.
True. Yeah. And eventually it does come along, or eventually they used to come along, but you're talking about a change that happened in the early days of social media. You're talking about before MySpace. Before MySpace, it was Friendster, and before Friendster, it was whatever.
Yeah, but me and Jason have had this argument before, and I kind of think like there has to be a critical mass. Like, YouTube is a space right now where it's impossible to start a channel and get any traction.
Google,
if you're not a certain kind of format that they want.
Google is a monopoly, and as clear as fucking day.
Yes,
and it's a monopoly that isn't going to go away. It's a too big to fail type monopoly.
So not to shill Odyssey too hard, but one of the reasons why I think it's different than something like Rumble or any of the, like, there's millions of these things popping up all the time. But one of the reasons that it's different is that it's offering you immediate, like, there's already stories on there of people making more, and we are one of them, people making more money on Odyssey in like a week than they made on YouTube in a year. And
is that making the people behind Odyssey any money? Because if it's not, Odyssey's going to be gone next year.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm hoping that they take a large cut of all this stuff, and when the live streaming rolls out, I'm hoping that they take like upwards of 40% cut from that, just so they can build the platform that much better. I don't know what they're going to do.
I'm not talking shit on Odyssey or any of these things, but all you need to know is I'm not big. I had 10.5 thousand subs, which it sounds like a lot to some.
But that is a lot for a channel that's like actively being suppressed by every single algorithm.
I hear you 100%. But there's channels even bigger than mine that are the same way. And here's what you need to know is all you got to do is look at the biggest guy, PewDiePie, right? Like whoever the biggest people are. Why don't they just make their own platform? They're big enough that if they built their own website and went there, those people would follow them. At the very least, he's got 100 million people subscribed to his channel. At the very least, 10 million of those people would go to whatever he goes to. Why doesn't he do it? It would absolutely benefit him in the long run, if not just immediately. Absolutely, it would. And in fact, I've heard him there's been talk behind the scenes before about that he was going to do that sort of thing, and it never pans out. And there's multiple people who've tried.
Well, what about like Censored.tv? Like Gavin moved over, and that's been running for like 2 years, and he's building an audience over there, and that seems to be paying well for him.
So I know the business they do at Censored.tv. I'm best friends with the secondhand man.
Yeah. We've seen.
Content with them. Yeah.
And I was just talking to Ryan about this, and I said to him, like, by the way, I just got kicked off of YouTube. Any chance I can get on Censored.tv? There is a possibility there. But although that doesn't really behoove me, it's just two different paywalls I'd be a part of. But I know the kind of business they do there, and they're surviving and they're doing okay. But how many new people do you think they ever find behind a paywall? Yeah. It's none.
I mean, they kind of like depend on somebody like you to get kicked off YouTube and then go over and bring them, 1,000 new subs or 1,000 new people.
And that's not the best. That's not the best business model, especially because eventually, whatever they're using to run credit cards or whatever payment processor they've got, eventually if they find out like, hey, all of the people that are banned are on this thing, they're not going to have that processor anymore. Like you don't just get deplatformed anymore. You get debanked. You get credit card processed. You get you can't run a business anymore if they don't like your opinion on things. I said when I hit 10,000 subs on YouTube, I want you guys to unsubscribe. I don't want to be this big. It's only going to lead to more headache. And here we are. I was right. There's something about that extra digit where people start paying attention. That's when all these people crawled out of the woodwork to try to make fun of me too. Is there something about that extra digit that does it? I don't know why. To me, it's never mattered, but the biggest guys don't do this. And the reason is they know that eventually it will be pointless. Eventually you're fighting a system that you can't fight by doing that. PewDiePie alone, if he left YouTube and took everyone with him, he's still not going to beat YouTube. And you don't have to beat YouTube, but you're not going to get new people, because every time you guys get on your phone, you watch an Odyssey, are you watching YouTube? You watching Netflix or you watching Odyssey? You know what I mean?
Joke. I'm not even just chilling. Like I actually have been watching Odyssey, and like there's a lot of shit going on there right now. And granted, it's not. I agree with you. It's not a YouTube alternative, but that's how everything starts out until it is an alternative, and it's growing.
It's essentially though the difference between the TV, like premium cable TV and ham radio. There are the enthusiasts, and they are going to listen, and you might be one of those enthusiasts, but most people aren't going to go check it out, and you couldn't pay them to. And some of these sites actually do pay you to do it. So
I mean, currently they are paying you to do it, literally.
Yes, exactly. So, and those companies, all these startups become insolvent a year later. What was that one? VidMe or something? Yeah. What happened to that one? Like all these startups, unless they keep getting floated cash by angel investors, they end up disappearing. YouTube, the biggest fucking thing ever, doesn't make money. It's a money pit for Google. They don't make money because YouTube doesn't care about making money. they care about harvesting your data and using it for their nefarious purposes, and they care
Yeah,
about
so
power.
that's the other thing, right? So when they run a business model that doesn't give a fuck if the creators make money for them, obviously they don't give a fuck if the creators make any money. They could disappear off the face of the earth as long as they keep getting people to sign up. As long as your fucking 5-year-old kids are watching fucking Lunky Box every day, it doesn't fucking matter. Like they just want whatever puts the most number of eyeballs on their screen for the most number of hours so they can harvest all the info.
Well, here's the thing. Like, you know how they've got the transcripts on there where it just automatically will tell you, what they're saying, the closed captioning. That's what they want now. That shit is that's information to them. And they know they know what you said. They know you said it. They are selling that to advertisers. I've done pod awful episodes, which I didn't monetize on YouTube. But they're still reading my transcript. They're still, processing my words. I've done shows where I'll mention some product on the show as like a joke or, as an aside sort of thing. And then I start getting advertisements for them.
Yeah, this happens to me all the time on all sorts of platforms.
And I know for a fact it's because I said it while on YouTube. Forget watching YouTube anymore. Being on YouTube, they're harvesting data from you. Within the past 10 years, it stopped being, this is the dark future that we're in, is it stopped being about money. It used to make sense when it was just, unfettered capitalism, and you could at least go, all they care about is money. That's what they'd say about the big companies. All Disney cares about is money. No. None of these companies care about money anymore. There's something even sweeter to them, and it's power.
Yeah. They just have unlimited money essentially. Like you look at a company like Google, what could they not buy? Like what could they actually not obtain with wealth?
The only stuff they haven't bought is the stuff that the government won't allow them to because of how nakedly they are a monopoly, because it would be antitrust nightmare if they bought certain things. But even that stuff, like I mentioned, Disney bought Fox for Christ's sake, and they let it happen. This whole monopoly thing, nobody cares about it anymore. The government does not give a shit about it. If anything, they're probably paid to look the other way. And power is now, it used to be money was power. Now power is its own separate thing, and it's controlling the narrative, and it's so easy to do on the internet that's all they give a shit about. And the more data they have, the easier it is to do it. Twitter makes no fucking money. How is Twitter still a thing 14 years later or whatever it is? It's because they have your data and they're making power, not money. You can't escape stuff like YouTube or Facebook or any of that stuff, even by leaving it, even by never going to the websites again. And this is the reason, like, I'm supposed to do something against YouTube and fight them and make some platform. I did that already. It's the Pizza Fund. I did it for me, and that's about all I can handle. If I did anything even slightly bigger than that, I just wouldn't have a job anymore. My bank would be canceled. I wouldn't have an account anymore. I wouldn't be able to process credit cards anymore. There'd be a million reasons why that would never, ever possibly work out for me. It wouldn't work out for the biggest guys. They'll just go after that guy. The New York Times tomorrow writes an article about you and says you're bad, and you are now deplatformed. Everything is cancel culture now. So the only thing that should be canceled is culture itself. Yeah. You gotta kind of fight it from within. You have to be a part of it to fuck with it. I think it's way funnier too in the end to be on these things and doing exactly what you're not supposed to do on them over and over again. The most exciting stuff to me is the guy who's got 1 subscriber on YouTube, and he's just uploading porn and watching, like he's watching it. He's recording it on his computer with his phone. He's like, yeah, this is a fucking good one. This is the one where dressed up like a slave. And you're just listening to a guy monotone record porn, and YouTube never it's somehow up forever. It gets 1 million views. And you're like, how is this here? And it's because that guy is nobody subscribed to him, and he fell through the cracks. It's way better to just fall through the cracks on these things, on these large platforms, than these alternatives. And that's not to say you shouldn't attempt the alternatives. but there's always going to be those hangups. And I just don't believe currently, with the way the world works, that the alternatives are ever going to be viable. I hope. Obviously, I hope.
Wouldn't it make sense to still just support other platforms, alternative platforms, just in case that it is viable? Because like somebody has to support them. Somebody has to do it if it's going to work.
You know
why not you?
You know why? The problem is platforms themselves. The fact that we're talking about remember websites? Remember, if you were a guy, you just had a website. Yeah. And if you wanted people to know about your thing, they went to you.com. Yeah. They went to yourthing.com. The problem is that we all think we're supposed to have these little havens for us online. I fucking miss going to, a guy's website because I like his thing. Now you have to go to a platform to see a guy's work and enjoy it. You have to, even if you're like fucking art or something, you're going on to some art platform, or you're going on to Instagram or whatever fucking thing. The problem is the platform, and maybe there is no viable solution for that yet, but we're probably getting there. The platform rose up because it used to be you couldn't host your own video content and have people's the bandwidth would be too much. It would be insane. But
you could do it now.
Now you can kind of do that, and
Odyssey has peer-to-peer capabilities.
Everyone just forgot. Oh yeah, and there's PeerTube and shit like that. But have you ever heard anyone talk about PeerTube outside of this type of conversation?
No, but I mean, Odyssey has peer-to-peer, plus they're hosting your own shit on their servers, which is then peer-to-peer. But
right, you should be hosting on your own servers. What I'm saying.
That's kind of interesting though that you bring up, because we are very just the computer that most people probably have in their house, or the iPhone, or whatever they stream on, is probably powerful enough with whatever internet the connection for them to host for 100 viewers.
Dude,
or 1,000 people that are interested
LBRY, that is exactly what you're doing. Odyssey is just a front end to that is then hosting your videos through the LBRY protocol.
And then if that somehow goes tits up, then what?
Well, the protocol will always remain. It's like Bitcoin, right?
Right.
That's the thing, right, Jesse? Like, not everyone is going to be able to technically figure out, okay, well, like, do I have to build a fucking application that sends data through the World Wide Web? Like, nobody knows how fucking web hosting works and, like, can write their own protocol to share
that's
video.
The problem. That's a problem. Everyone has a computer, and everyone is computer illiterate.
Yeah, but you have to be quite literate to build things with those kind of capabilities from scratch, Jesse. You can't. And why would you when like open source options exist, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Why would you? There's the platform. We can all just be on it. I wish that things were nice and the platforms were nice things to be a part of, but they are not. They inevitably are not. Right now, we can say. I won't say, but you can say it on Odyssey. They don't care now. They'll start caring when they have to, when they're big enough.
I totally agree with you on that. Like so when everybody. So there has been a lot of platforms when YouTube started cracking down. People jumped to platforms like DLive. We're actually streaming there right now, but it's kind of gone down the tubes, as I'm sure you know.
It's a good thing I didn't say any of those words because
I mean, they've become a lot more censorious and everything. And I recognize that Odyssey
Who's this?
Potentially.
Who's the black guy who just popped up again? Did you see it?
No, I mean, I saw a flicker at the corner of my eye, but
there's a guy like sitting in his kitchen who just replaced Jesse here. I don't know if Jesse's trolling us right now. I don't know if this is a fucking joke.
He knows what's going on.
Are you guys fucking with me, or did you really see that?
We'll clip it and send it to you later. But you must be fucking with, because you're the guy who always is like, hey, why is this live stream a repeat? Like, that's you. That's your shtick, right? You fuck with people.
Is this live thing? No, I swear to God, I'm looking at me through my camera thing here, and it's
there's been a guy, I briefly saw him earlier. He looked like maybe it was Shaquille O'Neal, but it was very brief on the screen.
Well, hey, Mike, your thing just flickered for me though, Mike. Your whole thing just flickered.
Okay.
I'm not kidding. I didn't see a black guy, but his whole screen just flickered.
Maybe I just dream of black guys all day. Maybe it's just on my mind.
Might be. Maybe it's like when you're on a desert island, and you're hungry. You start picturing things as big.
You start picturing big black guys.
You start picturing big black guys, or chicken legs, or watermelon, or whatever. Just foods because you're hungry. Just random foods because you're hungry.
Okay, I don't know where I was going, but there was a couple things. So throughout all the research for this episode, I created a list of all the things that people don't like about Jesse PS from Pod Awful. So we're gonna run through the list.
Now who's being trolled here? Hang on.
I'm gonna run through the list. Number 1, you have a small dick.
Who said that?
Many people, actually, many people. So Dick Masterson for one.
Oh, Dick Masterson did say that, but then he also called his own dick small in the exact same stream. So what are you gonna do?
Okay, moving on. You have limp wrists.
That's true. Look at me.
All right, low grip strength. Number 3, you're a homosexual.
I have a wife. I don't know how that works out, but
Number
sure.
4, you look like an incel.
Again, wife, but okay.
Okay, and number 5,
I have sex with my wife.
I think that rules out number 5. You are an incel.
No,
number
that
6.
one is true. No,
Number
I'm
6.
I'm Volcel.
Volcel. All right, you have bad teeth.
Yeah, I hear that one a lot. I don't know. They seem fine to me.
They're all right.
I don't know.
Number 7,
They're all right.
you've been married twice.
I mean, listen, Jason, you've clearly had braces. Right?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, see, I didn't have I think for
Yeah.
not ever doing any orthodontic,
Yeah.
interference, I think they're all right.
Yeah, I might.
Master
be
race.
if I hadn't,
Hey,
yeah.
here's the thing. Who gives a shit? It's my fucking skeleton. What are you, gay? Like,
All
who
right.
cares? You know?
Moving on. You've been married twice.
I've been married one time and only.
That's what I thought. Yeah, so that's a total lie, eh?
Completely. Yeah, I don't know where that comes from.
That I believe that came from Hipstar.
Oh, he just again, he's mentally unwell. He is the king of just making a thing up and
He's
hoping
like
to stick.
Andy Samberg. Do I have that name right? Andy Samberg, except he's like online, and I'll leave it at that.
I don't see the comparison at all. Like, I mean, have you noticed that he's just doing Pod Awful every day now?
Yeah, I mean, I found out about him last night while researching this. So
his show is just. I mean, he literally puts my background behind him sometimes, and he started wearing my glasses and stuff.
Yeah.
And he does this every single episode now, and he's not well. Every single time he does a show about me, he's got nothing on me. So he'll just make something like that up. I've heard him say that, that I've been married twice. He actually claimed that my wife controls the camera for my show and she writes scripts for me.
Oh, yeah. And he said that your previous wife edited all your shit.
I've been doing, how lucky am I that I've been doing this 11 years and I keep finding wives to do all the work for me. I think he might be confused because his show that people used to watch, it was him and his girlfriend had to do all the work.
Okay, moving on. You have a small follower count. Number 9.
It depends on what you're looking at, I guess. I
agree.
I have no followers now.
I'm just going through the list. This is everything that people.
Am I
don't
supposed
like
to respond to these, or
you can? No response is still a response. Moving on. You're not funny.
That's true. Yeah.
Number 10. You have an annoying voice. Number 11. You look like a pedophile.
What does that look like?
Number 12. Your aesthetics are inspired by other creators.
Yeah. Yes, the creators of the movie Johnny Mnemonic.
Oh, yeah, I like that. Number 13. You crave attention. Number 14. You do immoral things for attention. Number 15. You harass people.
I would
online.
disagree with the amoral thing. I don't
Yeah.
think of the thing. They don't ever go against my moral.
Okay, well, it ties into number 15. You harass people online. Do you think you harass people online?
Absolutely not. No, I make fun of people online. It's a silly joke.
Okay, number 16. You dox people. This accusation's been going around a lot. I haven't looked into it too deeply. Do you dox people online, Jesse?
I'm going to have to be very clear. Everybody says this about me, and then nobody provides evidence other than I might have said a guy's name one time. So let me be clear about two things. Number one, a person's name is not their dox. Your name is just your fucking name, man. That's not, like, legally speaking. I looked this up. Legally speaking, giving a person's name, even if they're normally mononymous or anonymous, if you give their whole name, is not legally considered doxing. That said,
Well,
while
legally.
I have...
I mean, if you gave out my full name right now, my full legal name, I would be taken aback, and I would take it as an attack, to be honest. If you gave out my full legal name, I know you could find it if you tried, but
what do you think happens after that? So I've been doxxed.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Like, people have given my straight up my whole address, my whole name is online. I've said my whole name. I don't really care. All my info is out there, my phone number, all of that stuff. You know what happens? Fucking bullshit, bupkis, diddly squat. Nothing ever happens. The worst that happens is someone sheepishly calls a pizza place and tells them to come to your house. And then you go, yeah, I didn't order the pizza. And they
Well,
go,
I mean,
oh, shit.
nothing
Okay.
happens until it does. Like maybe 10 years down the line, you're applying for a job or you got some promotion on the line and they see this thing online that's tied to your name. You know?
I believe you should not be facially online or even your first name online if you have any worry about that kind of stuff at all. But I'll end it. My second point was doxing, even though I've never done it, is cool and funny. Now what? What are you going to do about that?
Okay.
It's cool.
You covered that. I mean, I got my final one on the list. You're racist, sexist, homophobe.
There's no such thing as racism. I am sexist, and I'm not afraid of gay people unless they're coming at me with open sores, you know?
Yeah. So you're one of the only other people that I've heard say that there's no such thing as racism. So I kind of look at that. I mean, so I've in my life, in my experience, I've seen more people get made fun of, get beat up, have negative repercussions for having buck teeth. But there's no bucktoothism. We don't know anything about bucktoothism. Why don't we know anything about bucktoothism? Why isn't bucktoothism a thing? Because bucktoothism, prejudice against bucktooth people exists.
I mean, you know, you go on a dating app and a girl who's over 300 pounds will tell you she doesn't date guys under 6 feet tall. People are a series of contradictions, and racism is just like adult bullying. Get over it. Who gives a fuck? I mean, unless it's the government doing it to you, like a lot. If jackbooted thugs walked into your house with guns drawn and said, "Get on the ground. You're under arrest for the crime of having black skin," then sure, there would be racism. But beyond that, like, it's just can you get a job? Have a family? Are you allowed to have kids? Can you make money? Like, there's no racism. You're fine.
Well, I guess I'll end the criticisms
if anything, like, you know, if you're not white in America, like, you are a superhero somehow. I just don't see it. I don't know.
You are a bitter, mean, vindictive, shitty guy. That's a quote
I thought
from
the
Mike
last
David.
one was the
It
last.
was. But this is just a quote. This is just kind of a quote from Mike David of Red Bar.
Wait, what did he say again? I wasn't listening.
That you are a bitter, mean, vindictive, shitty guy. That's a quote from Mike David.
I guess I do copy Red Bar.
What? All right, Mike. What do you have any? Do you have any departing words? I know we got some stuff. I don't want to keep Jesse too long, so
Sure. Well, I just wanted to know one last thing, a little personal thing. What's up with the no drinking? I see it all the time on your stream. You're not into drinking. Everyone's into drinking. You will not be bullied into drinking.
I do no drugs whatsoever, other than caffeine, or like if I have a really bad kidney stone, I might pop a pain pill. Yeah,
It's always been like that? Has that always been your thing?
Yeah, what makes you drink?
Well, I mean, I like to drink.
I
alcohol
totally
because
agree with you,
places
Jesse. It's a weakness.
But
it's
okay,
being
sure.
unhappy.
But that's fair enough. But like you sound like a guy who was in AA or something. It's not something like that.
By
You
the way,
just never drank.
Saying Z is in the chat, but yeah, keep going.
It's probably not the real him.
No.
I've never had a drink in my life. I'm asking you what makes you drink? Because from what I understand, I'm the odd man out. I don't act like I'm not the weird one for this. I mean, I don't think it, but I understand it. From what I understand from people who drink, they do it like to loosen up.
Or relax,
and
get some liquid confidence.
I have never really felt stress in my life. I have never needed help to feel confident. I've never needed to loosen up. Like, I have no issue walking in anywhere and just immediately being completely ridiculous, which seems to be what alcohol does to most people. So it just seems like an unnecessary step to me. And then on top of that, I don't like the idea of not feeling in control of me. It seems like a bizarre thing to want. I can't imagine any other scenario where I would want to, do something so that I don't have full autonomy of myself. It just seems odd. And it seems, having been the sober person at many drunk people parties, having been the designated driver or the whatever, watching people be drunk, it never looks like fun. You guys seem to forget the night and then think you had fun, but it certainly does not look like you were having any fun during that. I've never gotten it. It makes no sense to me. My parents didn't drink growing up. They didn't smoke or anything. Cigarette. I would say cigarettes is an even stranger drug to do because it doesn't seem to do anything. It just seems like it just makes you addicted to cigarettes and that's it.
Well, you do look cool.
It does look very cool. I'd probably have less floppy wrists if I smoked.
Yeah,
but,
you'd just be there.
Yeah,
That's why Mersh looks so cool, I think, because he smokes so much.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't have any floppy wrists going on. I think, though, I truly believe this. I think all drugs should be legal. I think the drug war is a farce, and it's led to most of the terrible things in the criminal justice system and stuff like that. And there's really no reason to stop people from, killing themselves. It doesn't make any sense at all in that way. If you want to poison your body, go ahead. That said, I think the irony of the drug war is that the absolute worst drug on earth is alcohol. I think it destroys more people than any other drug. I think the permissiveness of it, not just in someone drinking themselves, but the permissiveness of other people's behavior when they're drunk is so like retardedly vile and wretched. Drunk driving and stuff like that, where you just kind of look the other, like you got a friend and he's going to drive home after drinking and you just kind of look the other way. Cause a lot of people, I do it. A lot of people do it, whatever. It's like, it's insane. You wouldn't let anybody operate a moving vehicle under the influence of most substances. But then most people look away when their mom goes drunk driving or whatever. I think alcohol is like the absolute worst drug on earth, bar none, mostly because of how widely accepted it is. It's probably worse than heroin in almost every single way.
What's the future?
You as puritanical about like sugar or like bad eating habits as you are about alcohol?
God, no, I'm a big fat guy, so no.
So do you have any interesting content in the pipeline? Like what's going on? Like why? So you said you're going to keep on going. Why is the content not coming on regular intervals like it used to?
So, at first it was like, well, I'm trying to get my YouTube channel back. I don't want to do anything until I get the YouTube channel back, so that it's, I want to do it live on YouTube like I normally do. And then it just became, let's just wait and see. So I'll be honest, I've been releasing content the entire time. It's just all behind the paywall right now. I've released stuff to the three major levels of my paywall. And even still, I have people saying like, how come you're not putting out anything? It's like, well, I did. You're in the pizza fund. You should know this. But I am working on stuff. So every single night I've worked on future episodes of the show. I've been doing pranks and stuff. I've been showing up on other shows like this, probably with the intent to maybe do something with some of these other appearances like that. What's the guy's name? The Scienza? What did you say his name?
I think it's CNZ Entertainment.
Yes. What a cool name.
He just subscribed to us, by the way.
How do you name your entertainment like it's a company? How do you name your company after someone else's trademarked character thing?
That's true. Yeah.
What a company.
What a fucking and then on top
Coca-Cola Entertainment Productions.
Yeah. It's hey, this is Mickey Mouse production. So and on top of that, it's fucking Dragon Ball Z of all things. Like how stereotypical can you get as a black nerd? Anyway, that guy, like I appeared on that guy's show and the internet now says you lost to this mush-mouthed retard. I don't know how you can tell. I couldn't understand a fucking word that guy was saying. I couldn't get a word in edgewise over his co-host. I don't even know who the other guy was I was talking to. To be honest, when I appeared on his show, I was in a drive-through ordering food. I was barely paying attention to his thing, but I think it will be funny when I put out my version of these events.
Oh,
And so I've
sweet.
been doing stuff
Okay.
like that, and I've been doing some random trolls on some live streams and stuff. A lot of different things. And I've had shows like show concepts and bits for the show ready to go since before I was terminated. I had shows coming up then. I have a lot of fucking work to do if I'm not getting the YouTube channel back. Almost every single thing in the Pizza Fund has to be re-linked now and re-uploaded.
Shit, yeah.
I have to recategorize everything. The thing that the people who subscribe to the podcast version aren't like, they're giving me no credit for this, is I've lost 11 years worth of content. Like I do have to do something about that. Like I have to re-upload it, and a lot of it I didn't have it all like categorized and cataloged on a hard drive somewhere. I'm having to go back and find all this stuff. Some of it is going to be lost forever. I happened to have lucked out and made a Google has this thing called Takeout, where you can request a download, an archive of your data. And I guess I did this like 6 months ago with my YouTube channel, and they the other day sent me a link to download all my stuff, and it's still there. So they still have all the files, and I'm still able to download them all. And it's, 11 years worth of content. It's a lot of shit. I found out from somebody that the Pizza Fund content alone is 45 days straight worth of content. Like 45 24-hour periods worth of content.
And
that's
coming, for anybody who's interested, actually, this is coming from a subscriber of the Pizza Fund. It's worth it. So like the content that you see for free from Jesse, I would say it's on par with the Pizza Fund. You're just basically getting more of the same. I mean, not the same as in its draw and the same thing. It's the same goodness from the Pizza Fund.
I hate the idea of people paying for bonus content.
Yeah, exactly.
Bonus is almost always like superfluous. Like, who really cares?
Exactly, and that's how a lot of the Patreons, to my understanding, work. Is that you watch your show and then you pay on their Patreon and you get like some like shit that like wasn't really good enough for the regular content, and you'll get extras. But it really is more of the same.
Yes, I try to do the exact same show I do for free.
What's the buy-in? What's the buy-in to get it?
It depends on what you want. There's it's like I just ripped off Patreon. I just have multiple levels.
I saw you got like a $1 tier. I assume that gives you like almost nothing extra for $1. But then what's
honestly,
up? 20.
It gives you about 100 hours worth of content.
Really, for $1? I get 100 hours of content?
Yep. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And what's $20? Give me. I get what, 3 episodes a week or something?
$20 gets you almost everything in there. It's I try to do things a little bit differently than most. I look at Patreon and go, what does everyone else do wrong? And everybody else prices their things wrong, and they give out the wrong stuff. So for $1, I give you a ton of shit that you really don't deserve for $1, and just to get you in the door. But I don't update that. That one is occasionally I'll release a new thing to it, but there's no guarantee of new content ever on that one. At the $6 level, it used to be a third show in the week that you would get for the $6 level. We changed it over right before the YouTube termination to a sort of after show thing where I cover some of the stuff I didn't have time for in the main show. And but it's basically another show. It's a whole other show. You also get an RSS feed, a private RSS feed that sends you the audio versions of those things to your phone, the exact same way the main show goes to your phone. And you also get the video versions. The $12 level, you get the second Pod Awful episode of the week. So there's 2 episodes every week. You get the second one that way. And the $20 level gets you content that at the time, I literally could not do outside of the paywall. There's certain things that we do on the show that just cannot be done for free for everybody. All eyes cannot see it. Those are not guaranteed shows either, but the higher levels are basically for people who are like, I really like your show and I want to give you more. My wish is I could find a new way to make money off of the show without people having to pay for the stuff. I want everyone to be able to see it.
Hey, maybe Odyssey has something to offer in that regard.
I don't like cryptocurrency.
No?
So unfortunately, no.
Dude, everything that you've been talking shit about, cryptocurrency is a solution to. You're talking about payment processors going away. You're talking about like all these things, how you're going to get deplatformed. Cryptocurrency is your warm
your own
body in the
bank.
middle of the night of winter.
Yeah, they also used to say like that Bitcoin is untraceable.
Yeah.
that's
it
true.
all
That's true.
It's all that way until it isn't, and I'm very soon it won't be. And also like what am I supposed to use? Coinbase? You think they can't take that away from you?
Yeah.
They've already banned people from Coinbase. Yeah.
Exactly. So I mean, that's a bullshit claim, really. I had an app. I bought like $100 worth of Bitcoin a while back, just as like, let's see what happens with this. And I accidentally lost my fucking wallet.
Oh, many such cases.
So yeah, I know. So I'm one of those people too. But I was doing it as a lark. It was. I don't feel like I lost anything because I probably would have forgotten about it anyway. I don't like, it feels like I don't do stock market stuff either because it feels like playing with money.
Yeah.
And I don't really do that. I'm very big on saving and building interest on money, but I am not very big on playing with it or gambling with it.
Yeah. Same with me.
And it seems to work out well enough for me. But yeah, I mean, if there was a way that I could still show every single bit of content and still make money, I would absolutely do that. I'm not like super greedy about it or anything. Yeah. Unfortunately, I haven't come up with a way to do that yet. But the second I do, I will. And my hope is I have a goal of a certain number of people joining the pizza fund, and we're not that far from it, where I'll actually lower the prices of each of the levels,
nice.
Except the $1 level, obviously. But yeah, for ever since it started, the intention was that those were not fixed prices, that those would eventually go down, that I only need a certain amount of money. I don't need to be rich off of this or anything. And so if it's, a certain number of people are in there, I'm doing well enough that I could lower it all and make the same amount of money. So that's what I'm hoping to get to.
Right quick on the tail end, on a real Jesse tip, on a philosophical level. So you recognize that the walls are closing in on some of these mainstream areas, but at the same time, you say no alternatives are viable. It's hopeless. How do you smile?
That is the funny thing to me. The funny thing is the clown shoes, right? Like that we're all having to wear. And
are you a masochist?
No, God, no.
You're a sadomasochist?
No. That's still a masochist. I feel like I answered that. You could have said sadist, and maybe that's.
Sorry, no, actually, that's what I meant. Sadist, yeah.
Are you a do you
Are you some other kind of masochist?
Are you a pedophile? No. What about an ephebophile? No, still no. Yeah, no, I don't know. I find most things funny. Like it takes very little to tickle my funny bone, and the inevitability of the heat death of the internet.
So you find like entropy funny and like the universe expanding and like eternal loneliness? Do you find all that funny?
How could you not? Like how fucking silly is all of this? Like assuming that things are the way I think they are, which I believe that I don't believe in any higher powers or anything like that. I believe we're a speck in a vast soup of nothingness. How fucking retarded is it that we're having to have any of these conversations right now, all things considered? I don't know how everyone doesn't do what I do, knowing, like, if you know this stuff, I could understand a simpleton who doesn't understand that he's, that the world isn't really that important in the grand scheme of things. I could understand him being very worried about today's news, like what happened with Biden. But if you have any idea of the fact that we are in this vast nothingness.
Shots fired at the Cave of Time. Shots fired at the Cave of Time.
I'm sorry. Well, I didn't mean to, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know how everybody's not constantly just, poking that bear and testing those limits and going like, well, what can I get away with here? What silly thing can I do here? Because society is just it's all a very flimsy construct, and it's very funny to watch what tiny little things will undo that. Like that ship in the Suez Canal. Like, have you ever thought about the Suez Canal before? But
never.
It seems like a ship sinking is a very easy thing to happen. and now it's crashing the global economy. It's like, if
Fucking
that's not,
12% of the world's trade can't go. There's 236 ships that have to anchor and it can't send anything anywhere. They're
And
gonna have to
somehow-
helicopter with people out of there. Like,
and somehow no one ever saw this coming. Like, this was never on the docket of potentially happening. If
yeah, like
that's
why
not
don't we build it
funny,
big
I don't
enough
know
to
what is.
fit 2 ships through? Why is it only big enough that 1 ship can block the whole fucking thing?
Right, exactly. There's a million reasons why that is a ridiculous scenario, and that is why I like to pay zero attention to news stories like that, and instead laugh at a cross-eyed man on the internet yelling at his own chat room. It's just funnier. I don't know. It's a funny way to spend your time, and the funnier something is, the more I'm into it. So.
And it's kind of a beautiful way to end the interview
Yeah.
as well. I do want to say I just bought a Pod Off a shirt. I'm gonna bring up the merch store for the viewing audience right now because you got
That's
some
cool.
nice merch going
Yeah.
on here.
Oh, thanks.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm a
see-
fan.
Sorry, OBS is doing this bullshit where I cannot show Firefox for some reason. Anyways, I got the Zuck Hunt Duck
Oh,
Hunt ripoff
sweet.
with Mark Zuckerberg. We've got interesting callback to the episode. We've got Nasimido instead of Nintendo. Callback to Nassim, the multicultural pro-feminist icon that we were talking about earlier.
Yes.
It's a beautiful shirt. I'm going to put the link in the description to the merch store. Everything else that I've got for Jesse, link in the description.
Podawful.shop for that. And let me just say this real quick. There's actually that shirt you bought, the Zuck Hunt shirt. We actually made a game called Zuck Hunt that you can play at zuckhunt.fun. It's you play as yourself and you shoot to death Mark Zuckerberg.
So are you like what is your IQ? Like how do you get all this shit done?
Do you want to do some phrenology on
Yeah,
the
you kind of do actually.
Yeah, why is the front of your head so big?
It is really big. You guys don't realize, because I'm 6'7". My head is huge.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
you and
weird.
Eggman, our last guest, big foreheads, big brains going on.
We
there, I
have
assume.
Eggy and I actually joking. I said to Eggy one time, like, we actually look a little bit alike. Like, whatever that is that makes him look that way.
Yeah.
I just lucked out enough to not get the bald part of it. But we are, and I'm not making fun of him. Like, he knows what he looks like, right? But there's a certain, I think every guy just is a type of guy. Like, there's 100 guys that look like you. There's 100 guys that look like me. And me and Eggy are that's the one that I look like without the glasses. I've got these fucking droopy eyes and shit.
True, yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm bizarre looking and my head is huge, especially my forehead. And I think I believe, to answer the IQ thing, I believe I have Down syndrome.
You get so much done because I have Down syndrome.
Well, Down syndrome people, they get a lot done. You know, I knew a Down syndrome guy in school where he was on the front page of the local paper because he was in the Special Olympics and he was competing in so many sports. They had him in a karate gi holding a baseball bat and a soccer ball. And I didn't read the headline at first. So at first I thought he thought that was a sport, you know, doing karate with a baseball bat. But it turns out he was just capable of doing all of those things. Now, that said, I knew him in school. And when I knew him, what he would do is he would steal people's spaghetti off their tray and then just eat it with his hands. And then he would rip people's backpacks, girls' backpacks off their back, and then spin around in a circle and dive bomb them, you know, throw them and scream. But apparently he's like a multi-talented athlete.
I don't know where we were going with that, but that's empowering.
I think the point was Down syndrome people can do anything, and power to the players.
Yeah, man.
GameStop.
Yeah, that's an area that Netflix hasn't really gone yet. They really need to start covering those bases more. Down syndrome. People.
Before we go, we didn't talk about your glasses.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I guess, so I think I mentioned it on the show before. We started with the Zoom filters, and then I wanted IRL Zoom filters. So this is my IRL Zoom filter. We got the glasses. We got, I'm assuming you're going to say it's a ripoff of you. Also, I think I talked about this. The reason that I wear filtered IRL glasses is I've got this sty on my eye that I think I need to get surgically removed. I've had one surgically removed before. They just flip your eyelid back, slice it open, and drain it out. It's very freaky when you've got a scalpel a millimeter away from your pupil. It is very. Right now, my stomach is turning just thinking.
I
about
wish
it.
I hadn't fucking asked. God damn, man. Just say like, "Oh, I think they're stylish." What the hell is wrong with?
Oh, you want to know more about the glasses? I bought them years ago.
No, I don't. Now I'm thinking about your eyeball being lanced and the pus squirting out. And this is something that has happened to you before. So you're just a sty guy.
Yeah, I get them quite a bit. I mean, it's just I get stressed out. I don't have much sleep.
Well, I mean, there's different types of guys. Why not a sty guy? Yeah, like we have sty people and we have big head people. Yeah, so he's a sty person.
I don't know, Jesse. Right now, I'm getting the impression that like cellulite bellied Ethan Ralph is making fun of how I look. Who are you to judge?
Oh, I don't have a sty on my eye.
Yeah,
a guy without a sty making fun of you because you have one.
All right, Jesse. All right, Jesse. You know what? I look at your presence on our show as a favor to us, and I'm going to leave it at that.
I like the glasses. I have no issue with the glasses.
Thanks, man. I will admit, it does seem like I'm copying you.
I don't think so, because of course I get it from every long-haired guy who's ever worn colored round glasses.
John Lennon, yeah.
I have to hear about every single day, so I'm just copying all of them. To be honest,
I was actually going to put on my glasses filter, and I thought I don't want him to think I'm making fun of him. I'll throw the pizza hat on.
We actually had a conversation about that before the show. Yeah.
I put the pizza hat on so everyone will be thinking about the pizza fund all episode.
To be honest, it took me a while to notice the pizza. And then when I did, I was like, is he fucking making fun of the pizza?
So it didn't work anyways.
Yeah, I got these glasses though. I'm not a fan of any of those people that wear these glasses and that look like me.
I wish I knew. I would have just switched to the fucking glasses. I could have done the whole episode like this. This is way better.
I just thought I was trying to get those really small ones, like the really tiny circle glasses.
Yeah.
I didn't know how big these were. I ordered them online. I wanted those tiny Nazi scientist glasses.
Nice.
That's what
I think there's like a certain kind of people that use those to look at diamonds.
Something like that. I wanted to look really, people think this is nuts. I was trying to go for really insane looking, and it turns out it's really hard to find glasses like that. I have not been able to find them outside of guys who pretend they live in the 1800s. They sell those.
Yeah. How small would you go?
I want them to be the exact same diameter as my actual eyeballs. They just sit right in front. They're really tiny. They sort of, my head's too big for them, so they sort of go in like this.
Yeah.
I want to look really nuts with it, but I have to wear. These are my prescription glasses. These aren't sunglasses, and I have to wear these because I suffer from a condition known as human nocturnalism.
Yeah. Wait, sorry. I was about to change the subject. What is that? Human nocturnalism?
No, go ahead. Change the subject.
Well, no. What the fuck is that?
Basically, it's a condition that causes my eyes to be very sensitive to the light, which is a real problem in this whacked out studio. And I can't go outside without burning my retinas, and I have to sleep during the day, and I'm only awake at night. I'm vampiric in that way.
Okay.
I'm like Gary Oldman's Dracula.
Yeah.
And so I had to get his glasses. And it's just it's a very rare ocular disorder that I suffer from.
Well, I think there's got to be some kind of optometrist or glasses smith that could create this at a relatively cheap price. I think you should start a crowdfund or something. I think that you have enough followers, and we would contribute a little ourselves.
We'll kick in to get you some cool glasses.
Yeah,
I could just afford to buy glasses.
I could just buy some fucking glasses.
I have money.
I'm doing okay, guys. Don't worry about me.
Yeah, I'm all right. I've never been.
I just don't like to see you in glasses that are non-optimal.
I know it really is pissing me off. I am going to eventually do that. I looked into my problem is I don't like going into a place and doing it. And if I went through all of that and told them line by line how I want my glasses custom made and then they fucked it up, I'd be so fucking mad. Like if I actually spent money on it and they really fucked it up, I don't think I could ever possibly live with them. I'd have to throw the glasses away. It would just be down the toilet with that. So I've been trying to find people who will custom make glasses online, and it turns out that they all seem to think that custom made glasses are just tortoise shell, which is just a normal type of glasses.
It's a fucking tortoise shell.
Tortoise shell, like the frames. You don't know what tortoise shell frame glass? They're like those speckled frame glasses.
Okay.
You know, every single like custom maker, it's just they make like zany versions of tortoise shell glasses.
Oh yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah, right up front we got pictures of Ryan Gosling wearing tortoiseshell glasses. Yeah, it's kind of like the it kind of looks like amber, like dirty amber.
Yeah, well, they come in different colors, but yeah, I do know what you're talking about. They kind of have that translucency to them. I hate those glasses. I'm very like what I have in my mind's eye for glasses is very specific, and I do need to find somebody who's like, yes, I am just crazy enough to do this, listen, like, I don't want the person to go like, that doesn't make any sense for the size of your head. I want them to just do what I say. And
you need a real artist. Yeah.
Why don't you get like a fucking prop guy to make the glasses and then just take him to a glasses guy and I'll put the lenses in?
All right, find me a prop guy.
Yeah, find him a prop.
I mean, you live in fucking New York, don't you? There's probably like a fucking 1,000 of them.
Okay, I did want to ask that. Did you actually move to Santa Cruz to be next? Did you actually live in the Santa Cruz Jokers building?
Yes, I did move to Santa Cruz. I've not lived in New York for over a year, and it was all just to make the Santa Cruz Joker angry.
Where's Santa Cruz? In California?
Yeah, California.
And there's
nice
some
town. I've been there before. How did you like it?
It stinks. It's awful. I hate it. It's hot, and I don't really like the heat.
Oh,
get the fuck over there.
It's also like it's kind of a poor people's town.
Yeah,
it's for poor people.
Yeah.
It really stinks, and everybody here is like retarded and shitty, and it really makes sense.
So you're
the
still
Santa
there?
Cruz Jokers from here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you move into a place.
Well, you got long hair. Have you been surfing at all?
Are you happy with that question, really?
Come on, that's very rude, Jason. With his condition, he could die.
I mean, Jason, you're wearing a beanie. You want to break out the guitar and start noodling?
No, man. I'm going to listen to Tim Pool after this.
Yeah. What's wrong with a beanie?
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it.
Man, if he didn't wear the beanie, people might identify him, and then they'd know who he was and come after him.
That's a real Tim Pool story, man.
Are you a secret bald guy?
Sorry?
Are you a secret bald guy under there?
No, I got more hair than I can deal with.
Oh, nice. Wow. Yeah. That's a beautiful mane. You shouldn't cover that up.
I get compliments from every barber.
You look way better like this. You take the hat off. Get rid of the hat.
It's off.
Well, I mean forever.
Yeah. See, I don't want to talk about my hair for too long. I could talk about it for a while.
Hang on. Take the glasses off for a second. God damn. You're a handsome boy. With these killer good looks, you're just wasting your time on Odyssey? Come on, man.
What else should I be doing, Jesse?
I should be on fucking, what's it called? OnlyFans.
OnlyFans, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Or start going on some auditions, you could be a leading man.
I used to be an actor.
All right, kind of gay, but...
I agree. That's why I quit.
Wait, why did you quit for real?
Because they were coming after him with the swords.
When you say an actor, what kind of acting did you do?
I mean, like this is we're gonna talk about my life for the next 5 minutes.
Yep.
Hey,
so you read a list of insults about
the question is, why did I quit acting? That's the question.
Well, first of all, what kind of acting did you do?
Mostly stage.
Okay, that's what I thought. And then why did you quit?
So I'll try to sum it up in 1 minute. Start the timer. So I was doing the regular acting thing, auditioning, blah 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 blah. I got really close to a lead on an NBC sitcom. It was in the bag. I knew one of the producers. I love that image you put on the screen. I know you're doing it, Jesse.
I wanted to see how long I could.
You're too.
I wanted to see if you would talk about yourself to the point where you didn't notice the black guy.
Well, I do like to go in my own space, but I did see it.
You almost got the lead. What was the NBC show?
It was a shitty show. I don't want to bring it up because I feel like that.
What was it?
No. I was actually, when it came out, I was glad I wasn't in it. It was really bad. I can almost guarantee you haven't heard about it.
Was it undateable?
No. I can almost I would bet $500 you haven't heard of it.
All right, well then it won't hurt to tell me what it is.
No, because then
Come on. It's your old buddy Jesse, the internet's boyfriend. Come on.
Yeah, but then everyone will be able to find out who he is. That's
be
why
the
he doesn't
angel on
want to
my
say.
shoulder. Should I?
Don't do it, because
Okay.
then everyone will know who you are.
You absolutely should do it.
I mean, well, let me just put it this way: Jesse has never given anybody bad advice ever.
If anybody wants to know who you are, it would take 2 seconds.
Exactly. Yeah. So then why make it easier for them? Make it take 2 seconds.
The point is, you're not making it easier.
Just do it. We'll have them after you've been doxxed. We'll have them back on.
What is the name of the show?
I got Mike being the voice of reason right now.
Just tell him another show. He'll never fucking know the difference. Just make up a fucking show.
You weren't.
Just tell him it was Friends.
But you weren't on the show. Why would it matter?
Because I knew people involved with the show, and that's part of the story.
Well, obviously, you knew people involved with the show. You were almost on it. But come on, give me a name. You said we've never even heard of the show before. Come on.
Yeah, but you can look it up and find out about the show.
Are you Canadian?
Yeah.
I can tell from your accent. So, okay.
All
right.
Enough.
I mean, I noticed at the beginning. So,
okay.
I just didn't want to be rude.
I didn't want to be rude and bring it up.
I don't like to judge people by their ethnicity.
Ooh, gross. Yeah. All right. So it was filming in Toronto.
No, I don't think so. I don't think it was, but I was casting in Toronto because some of the people involved were in Toronto. In fact, one of the producers on the show told me I had the role. So I'm walking down the fucking street. I'm seeing bus stop signs with NBC shows. I'm like, holy shit, that's gonna be my face. And I was going through a really hard time. Like I just had a bad breakup with a girl, and my head was not in it, and I did not give a fuck. And to me, it was like I was a mountaineer, and I was climbing Everest all these years, and I was all of a sudden at the top of Mount Everest, and I didn't give a fuck. And then it turned out that I didn't get the role, actually, and it went to somebody else. And I was back down to doing like Tim Hortons commercials where I'm saying no lines, and I'm, in the audition just holding a cup in a certain way and smiling like I'm looking out in the sunset, and that's my audition. And that's the highlight of my month, is that audition. And I'm back at base camp at Everest, climbing my way back up, when in my head I was already at the top and didn't give a fuck. And I was kind of naive back then, and I said to myself, like, listen, like, if you don't love what you're doing, quit. I don't love what I'm doing now, so if I knew what I knew now, I would go back and not quit, but that's why I quit, because I realized my heart wasn't in it.
Who did the role go to?
He was in some other shit. It was some guy that actually had like a C-list name, and I had no name.
Because I would be interested to see who is like your type. It must be the same guy as like it's a type.
He was a bit bigger, bit more well built. But yeah, okay. I'm a fairly.
I don't even know how handsome you think he is. I was just wondering who he was.
I don't remember his name.
So was it a white guy?
Yeah.
Okay, so they didn't go another way with it.
They didn't go another way.
Okay, like they started thinking something else,
Yeah.
All right. Well, what's the name of the show?
I'm gonna go with Mike on this. Like
we'll do it, man.
Because I like right now I don't really know, and I'm just trusting Mike. So
thank you, Mike. You're killing entertainment by doing this.
You are terrible.
You are the executioner of fun.
Yes, I am. I'm such a dad. I'm such a dad. I have kids. I'd be like, no, this is a bad idea. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't fucking do it.
It's a bad role to have on a show.
Well, I mean, we're not running a wonderful piece of production that you run. We don't have the same kind of chops you do. We don't make the sacrifices that you make, and that's why you are where you are, Jesse.
One more question that I have for you, Jesse.
Terminated?
You've got a podcast. Sorry, what?
That's why you're canceled, Jesse. No, I didn't.
Go ahead.
You've got a podcast. Do you ever look at the analytics of your podcast, like geography of where people are listening from?
Yeah, it's a mostly Canadian show.
I don't believe you.
No, I'm not kidding. Most of my listeners are Canadian. I mean, even if you were just to look at like the people who show up on screen with me sometimes, like the hangout stuff I do, or go in my Discord, it is so oddly heavily Canadian that for a long time we used to joke that Pod Awful is a Canadian program.
Okay, so the reason I ask is because we have a podcast as well, obviously, and our India numbers are going bonkers. That's not happening with you?
I used to have a thing. I don't really pay attention to that stuff anymore when it comes to the podcast analytics or any of that. I used to pay a lot of attention. And back in the day, the one that would get me is one day I blew up in Azerbaijan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Azerbaijan pot off was really big in for like a minute, and then all of a sudden never again, which I worry about those people. I feel like they were probably bombed or something. It completely fell off. Maybe I just said something on the show. I don't know. I don't even know where the fuck Azerbaijan is. Like, to me, that sounds like where a genie comes from. So I don't know what it is, but yeah, I've had some weird ones like that. India, you said yours is?
Yeah, and it's been for a while now. I thought it was bots, and I just wanted to know because I don't talk to many other podcasters. I just wanted to know if this was all like bots just downloading like Western podcasts. I don't know.
I would say with it being India, that is where a lot of bot farms are, or just like literally a guy with 100 iPhones in front of him going subscribe, download. And so it might be that. I'm not going to take anything away from you. Maybe you guys are you're a big hit in India. Maybe one time you said the right thing about Vishnu or whatever, and they're like, fuck yeah. Hell yes. Maybe they're confused about whatever's going on with Mike,
Oh no, I'm Indian.
Okay, maybe they're dead on about whatever's going on with Mike. So, who knows? My big one, analytics wise, a while back, like a long time ago, was suddenly I became very popular in, I think it's called Hagerstown. It's like right outside of Washington, D.C. There's something like that. And all of a sudden one day I was getting like 25 downloads a day from, which doesn't sound like a lot, but back then it was a lot. And especially just from this one tiny area you've never heard of before, suddenly 25 every day. And then it started shooting up to even more. And there was like 100 every day. And then I realized it's like where one of the Secret Service's headquarters are, like one of their offices.
Oh no way!
Are there? And it was immediately after I was arrested and investigated, and I thought like I had just, oh shit, this town really loves me suddenly. And
yeah, they got a fucking statue of you up there.
They were literally.
And they kind of do love you. It's just their job to, right?
It's funny. I mean, there are government employees where it was their job for a while to watch Pod Awful.
They must be so fucking confused. Like, just to like not be part of the internet culture, be totally out of it, have no idea who any of the fucking people you're talking to. And then their boss is like, they're probably like 20 something. Their boss is like, okay, I need you to go through 400 hours of this guy, Jesse. He's a suspect. We think he might be a terrorist. And they're just watching you fucking crack the kind of jokes you crack, being like, what the fuck is going on here?
I would love it if they were confused. My guess is they were probably just exasperated by it. But yeah, I mean, when they came to my house, like the three Secret Service guys came to my house, they didn't seem happy. So they seemed like
probably
really
not.
They seemed
You're probably kind of a fucking chore because like they signed up to stop terrorists and they have to come visit you.
Yeah, but they also
they're American heroes in their mind. They want to be like the people who save the president and stop bombs from going off, and they have to fucking show up at your house and wait for you to put pants on to go greet them.
They also had to stop Ted Nugent though, so that was probably pretty fun for them. The Motor City Madman. They probably it's like strikes and gutters. They get some fun ones and some lame ones, and then probably some terrifying ones. But
that's like the cops who get to show up at OJ's house. They're like, "Oh, sweet, it's OJ. This is gonna be amazing."
Yeah, he was one of the greatest rushers of all time. He got the Heisman. OJ's a great athlete. Yeah, I'd be excited to meet him too.
I think we did a cool episode on him, and even his like guards and stuff were like, "Oh yeah, he's so cool, like to be around." And he was like signing stuff for them, and
yeah, he seems like a really nice, sweet, gentle guy.
Gentle giant.
Yeah, for sure. Like I love watching him on Twitter and stuff. The little videos he puts out.
Yeah, I do. I'm a big OJ fan. Yeah, I do like his Twitter a lot.
Shame.
Hey there, Twitter world.
I do admonish him for his crime of stealing back his own memorabilia.
It was kind of like I was disappointed in him, to be honest. Like you just look up to a guy so much.
It seemed below him to do that, and I don't know if he was in some sort of desperate place. I know sometimes with athletes, they might get hooked on pills or something. Maybe I'm not making any allegations about him whatsoever.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was just saying, like, it was such a disappointment to see him, just stealing. Really, OJ, stealing? Is that what we're about?
And he's
for the kids kind of thing.
And he's a smart guy too. He's a smart guy too because he was an actor and an author. He wrote a book. So
I don't think that book ever came out, but yeah,
he wrote it. No, I'm
pretty
sure. I think I've read it. I'm pretty sure it came out.
If I did it, I think it's on Amazon.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it came out.
You read it?
I think I did. Yeah.
Well, maybe you need to come back on and do a book review for us. My head is hurting from all the drama that I had to look into the past 2 days, Mike. I think we need to do a book review next episode before our Derek Chauvin coverage.
Yeah, all right.
Derek Chauvin. It's pronounced Chauvin. He's my uncle.
I mean, I'm glad that you corrected me about the pronunciation because every time I feel like I pronounce it differently.
Chauvin. Yeah, it's my mom's maiden name.
Is that why you keep flashing George Floyd at us?
That is honestly, for my family, that is a very touchy subject, and I really don't appreciate you bringing it up.
Have you kept in touch with Chauvin?
You're not. He's not your uncle. Stop it.
Uncle Derek, yeah. He's my mom's brother.
How's he holding up?
He's actually doing great. Really good. They treat him like a king.
Oh yeah.
On the
How so?
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. And what's really cool is having this time off from work. He's a creative guy. I actually take after him quite a bit.
What does he do?
Well, he wanted to be for a long time a singer-songwriter.
Okay.
And he would write songs.
Yeah.
And with all the time he's got now, he has been working on some stuff. Interesting turn of events. He actually started writing parody songs.
Okay.
And he wrote, did you ever see the television program Daria?
Not really. I'm familiar though.
He wrote a parody of their theme song, which is called Standing on My Neck. Okay. And it's sort of about his, some events in his life, Uncle Derek's life. And it's from the point of view of St. George Floyd.
Okay. Could you give us a ditty or?
Yeah, it's something like I like hip hop. I hate all cops. My head might pop. Excuse me. 100% exonerated, not guilty.
100%. So not a single charge?
Well, he didn't do anything. George Floyd, and this is in the medical records, died from taking fentanyl.
Well, there's competing autopsies, right? There's the Hennepin County autopsy that says he died.
Unfortunately, autopsies are sort of a bunk science. And what they're going to go by, there's one thing that is irrefutable when it comes to evidence, and that's video footage.
Okay.
I mean, you could say it's manipulated or whatever, but there were body cams in the initial scuffle, the part that nobody ever looks at.
Yo, Jesse, I don't know if your uncle told you, but there was actually body cam footage from the previous interaction with St. George.
Exactly what I'm talking about. And before any kneeling took place, which by the way is standard police procedure, you're supposed to kneel on a guy's neck until he passes out. But unfortunately for Uncle Derek, what happened was he didn't realize that George was on the stuff. And again, I'm for legalization of drugs, and
you're a libertarian. We get it.
This is where Uncle Derek and I would differ, is he was not. He didn't like the drug stuff. But I believe the original body cam footage that shows St. George Floyd saying, way before he had his neck kneeled on, he kept saying over and over again, I can't breathe. I can't. Yo, dog, I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
I mean, the cultural appropriation, I'm not sure if that's necessary, but yeah, the words, the text, that is what he was saying.
Hang on. Now, I don't believe in racism, but what you said may be a little problematic because you seem to think that being high on fentanyl is black people's culture. You're saying I'm appropriating that?
Is that what people sound like when they're high on fentanyl?
Well, I
that's
mean,
what George Floyd sounded.
He was black. He was high on fentanyl. Where's the?
I'm a well-known impressionist. I was doing a dead-on impression of George Floyd. I did not mean to sound, I wasn't doing like some random guy on fentanyl. This was him. These are his words. Maybe you haven't seen
You know what?
the footage.
It's a sensitive issue, and perhaps I got a little catty about it, and I apologize if I made you feel
His
uncomfortable,
words
you know?
specifically. And again, this is a direct quote, and I have this thing where if I'm doing a direct quote, I try to sound as much like the person as possible. He was saying, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. And nobody was choking him. Nobody was even touching him at this point. They were just trying to get him to get back in the car or get out of the car. And nobody was choking him whatsoever. And he was already saying, I can't breathe. So as you can imagine, when you're doing standard police procedure and kneeling on the guy's neck and he's going, I can't breathe. I can't. You've been hearing that now for 15 minutes. Yes. You're not going to think it's any different than before. But he couldn't breathe before because he was choking on his own. He was like aspirating and choking on his own vomit.
And Jesse, this is not what I was talking about when I said the previous footage from body cameras. Perhaps your uncle didn't tell you, but there actually was a previous altercation with George Floyd in which he consumed fentanyl before the altercation. The cops approached him. And that's why he consumed the fentanyl, because he wanted to hide the evidence by hiding in his own body. And he also, at that point, screamed out for his mother. He was very erratic, and there's a whole slew of body camera footage coming out from that. The judge recently actually permitted some of that information to be allowed in the trial for medical purposes. So the defense cannot bring that up unless it's about George Floyd's medical condition at the scene of the crime in question.
You know what I find interesting is nobody ever talks about my Uncle Derek's medical conditions.
What's
because
that?
Well, he is colorblind and he actually does not see race.
If that gets brought up at trial, I think that might be a moneymaker. That might be a kill shot.
They won't let him bring it up. The judge has blocked it at every turn, and you would think that would be important, wouldn't you? But liberal judges, activist judges.
That's disgusting.
You know what I mean?
That's absolutely disgusting. So you don't think that we'll see true justice, or do you think that the amount of evidence?
True justice has already been delivered because George Floyd, the disgusting criminal man, is off the streets for good.
Well, okay, he was a porn star. He was a fentanyl addict. He used counterfeit money. He put his gun to a pregnant woman's belly. But why do you call him disgusting?
The counterfeiting money part.
Okay, yeah.
And I think as far as my Uncle Derek goes, whether or not he will... My Uncle Derek, one way or another, is innocent. And I believe in the eyes of all true Americans, they already believe this. And if I know my Uncle Derek, that's what's most important to him.
The true Americans.
If he's got to live on the inside for a couple months as a result of all of this, he's going to be treated like a king in there. It's no big deal for him. And to be honest, he's been arrested before. I don't know if they brought that up at all, but before he was a police officer, they used to arrest him all the time. He would be drunk, he'd drive around. They got him. He would get high on fentanyl. He counterfeited money. So Uncle Derek is used to being on the inside. He's sort of hardened in that way. And I think it's part of what brought him to criminal justice. I think that's what made him interested in becoming a police officer, is he had seen it so many times on the other side. He wanted to affect change from within. And I think he's done that.
Done that through what action?
Killing George Floyd with his knee.
Mike, please talk. Please talk, Mike. Mike, could you please talk? You haven't said anything.
I can't do this anymore.
Please talk, Mike. Mike, talk.
All right, Jesse. Well, it's been an absolute delight to have you with us.
Thank you so much, Mike. Yeah, I had a good ass time on your podcast. And shit. Shit.
I do really, really appreciate the fact that it took us so long to figure out that you were doing this face because I was like, what the fuck's going on? Like, does he have another guy over there who's like fucking up his stuff? Like,
There was a split second where I thought Jesse didn't know what was happening with this guy.
I totally thought he didn't know what was happening, and I was like, what the is there? Does he have like a producer or something who just fucked up and he like put a different screen on by accident?
That is my producer, Ezekiel,
the ex-wife.
I like to put. He hangs out in my kitchen, produces the show.
I like to watch all our shows from my kitchen.
So, well, he produces it from the kitchen, and then I sometimes cut the camera to him. Yeah, what up, y'all? It's me, Ezekiel.
All right, Mike. I'm a little worried that our YouTube channel is going to get banned. But you know,
you're a little worried. You're a little bit, just tiny bit worried.
A little worried.
It's over. We don't have a fucking YouTube channel anymore. This is ridiculous. There's no way we make it through this. We're already 2 strikes in. Our fucking first guest back was Egg White when we couldn't.
The first one was a warning. The first one was a warning. We're 1 strike in.
Do y'all niggas ever play Call of Duty?
Oh, Jesse. Well, to be fair,
Ezekiel.
it was
Ezekiel. You can't say that.
That was that was.
You ever play Call of Duty?
Yeah, I played it once or twice.
Don't actually. I'm not a big fan.
Oh my god. Oh wait. Okay. Oh, John, I was gonna have to cut the video. Do I still?
No, that was me playing.
Do I need to edit that part out? Do I need to edit that part out?
No, that's me playing Call of Duty.
Oh my god.
I wanted to show you guys a clip. I actually got the high score.
That was a little unkind.
We beat the terrorists in that one. That was the one where we beat the terrorists.
That was a little unkind. Mike, did you see what just popped up on screen?
Yeah, it was nice having a YouTube channel for a while, but let's be real. We were never really in it with our hearts. We knew that our day would come one day.
You guys are Odyssey boys.
Yeah, we're Odyssey boys, but Mike,
we're Odyssey boys now. We're shills for Odyssey.
Do I need to fucking go through the rendering process? No. How do you render your videos, Jesse?
I don't. They are raw and real and uncut.
Well, how do you render your fucking like your? I mean, you got like these. I mean, you render some videos.
No.
All right. This has been the Game of Time live stream and podcast. Mike, bring us out. Land the ship.
Land and put us in the cave. What is your guys' outro thing? What do you have like a tag?
Yeah, we're gonna play a song. We're gonna play a song by Swoopy. It's called "Horse Family Running Round." It's a hot song.
But do you have a tagline, or do you say?
Well, normally at the end I just say something like, "This has been the Cave of Time podcast and live stream. Big thanks to Jesse. Check him out. Check out the Pizza Fund. Support everything he does wherever you can find him." And we'll probably end up joining him over there after we get kicked off of YouTube. Have a good night, everybody.
You guys got to mute your mics because that's how it's set up. Oh no, wait! You don't need to mute. I took proactive steps. We got a closing song. It's on the separate channel. You guys there? Holy shit, Jesse! You're gonna play the fucking what is that? The New Zealand massacre, Christchurch massacre on our screen. I mean, I only caught it for a split second. Did anybody actually die in that clip that you played?
Things are so different now, but in a way that doesn't change.
I don't know. I'm a little worried that I need to actually do like a pixelated thing on the screen in that moment. You know how? I mean, you know how deep the algorithms are on this shit.
Show me a different side, keep me on my toes. If you believe in sides, that's the side that you chose. That's the sign you should go. I don't need you and you know.
I don't know, Mike. What do you think? Should I just leave it as is and go?
What you got there? All I really wanna take that. Take my money, let's grab. Be real, don't cap. It's gonna go round and round and round. Luxury all the way down. I know that that's left sound, but things are gonna be better now.
Wait, did you mean to play the Christchurch thing before? Oh, okay.
Let's go, be smooth. It's better now. Let's go.
Whatever I open, nobody can stop. Whatever I shut, nobody can. She fell from the sky, you're gonna walking. What am I close? Happened to be back down. Things are different now. Things are different now. Things are different now.